the world will be determined to a large extent based on how debate in America is resolved. Speaking in Sydney today, McCain saying that debate is about what kind of role America should play in the world, but he isn't sure how it will play out.
That's why I and others are fighting so hard to ensure that America stands by our allies and remains an active, principled leader in the world.
The Arizona Republican says he realizes some of President Trump's actions and statements have unsettled friends of the U.S. Many political types across the country watching this one. It starts to get real this week in a congressional runoff race in Georgia.
It's 3 weeks until Election Day in Georgia, and that means early in-person voting starts for people who live in the 6th Congressional District on the north side of Metro Atlanta. It's been an interesting race in the consistently Republican district since Democrat John Ossoff has shown a lot of strength in the polls. He and Republican Karen Handel appear to be in a dead heat. The race has been drawing a lot of national attention as well. The Wall Street Journal reporting $37 million has been spent so far, with national groups contributing to both sides. Handel and Ossoff are fighting for the chance to fill the seat of Republican Tom Price, who joined the Trump administration earlier this year. Matt Cook, NBC News Radio, Atlanta.
You're listening to the latest from NBC News Radio.
Are you a U.S. veteran? American Financing wants to say a huge thank you for your service. If you haven't taken advantage of your VA benefits, then now is the time before rates go up again. To call American Financing so they can customize your VA loan program for your new home purchase or refinance. Hi, I'm Ross Kaminsky, and did you know that you can refinance any existing mortgage into a VA loan? You may even be able to take out cash to pay off some of your existing debt so you can save hundreds of dollars a month in interest. And of course, your mortgage interest is also tax deductible. Whether or not you've previously used this benefit, you still have access to the VA home loan program. VA loans have no down payment, no mortgage insurance, and relaxed credit requirements. American Financing has salary-based mortgage consultants, no upfront fees, and their pre-qualification process only takes 10 minutes. Call American Financing today at 303-695-7000. That's
It's called up. It's a supplemental type certificate part. It's a big cap, smooth metal cap that goes over the top center of the rotor. And the guy,
does it help with wind? What does it do?
oh my God, it just, who knows what it does? Well, I guess air is sucked into the rotor system and pushed out. And when you go forward, air goes through the rotor system. This round thing apparently smooths out the air going into the rotor. It smooths through the air going through the tail. And it completely made the helicopter fly like it's on a wire. Rather than, helicopters usually do this.
It doesn't do that.
Not one bit.
That's weird.
It's the most phenomenal thing. It was a $900 part. It took an hour to put on or less, or a half hour, and it's well worth it. When the guy kept calling me here and dap me, he'd always chew Daphne's ear, and he'd say, is Tom Martino there? Because he had a list, he had my name on a list of an owner for this particular helicopter. So I finally took his call. And he had it. And he said he had this thing, and I thought, okay, it sounds like bullshit. But you know what? I thought, I talked to a few people that had it done. And for the hell of it, I did it. And it was worth it. It was unbelievable.
I'm still going to Troubleshooter.
You know how people bullshit? They say they made something and it's going to change everything. People always make these claims about all kinds of shit, right? Retrofits, they make for cars and for whatever.
Anything, yeah.
So I thought, okay, we'll see. And he's the kind of guy I think he would have given my money back if I didn't notice anything. So my shop said, well, I put it on several helicopters and everyone loves it.
When you go here and try to find it and stuff, what do you...
So I put it on there, and I would have lied. I swear to God, it's like I'm flying. You know how cars have a certain feel?
And I hit the line.
This doesn't feel like my helicopter anymore. It feels like a whole
got to wait a while, right?
Just a whole different helicopter. If I was closing my eyes, I wouldn't know I was in my helicopter. I mean, it always flew well.
See, I've done it before, and I know you said that.
It always takes a while.
Mine's there.
Yours is there?
Mine's been there.
I don't know how the hell one little thing like that, aerodynamic,
so.
Do you generally go by yourself?
Do you have
just
the
to kind of,
I always take,
just to get away?
Yeah, but generally, I always like to take a share, no matter who it is. I love having a pass, just because they say, hey, look at this or look at that.
Yeah.
No matter whether the pilot's or not, I like just going out and doing that.
Yeah, we're up.
But the other day I was thinking,
Here it is.
I love it.
Choose on life. No, that's me.
Sure.
Here
At
it
this
is.
stage of my life, I was thinking about just, if I
You got it,
unloaded
that
it
was
all,
it.
No, that was,
I don't know, simplified, and did something
Go to
else
Troubleshooter
now.
Network.
Yeah,
Something
that's where I
else.
am right
Because it
there.
requires so much
Go back.
attention, so much training.
We're-
I
Go
think
back.
it's keeping
Hit the
me
back
mentally sharp
Yeah.
a bit, and so I'm not sure I want to give it up, but I was thinking.
Oh, okay, I've been
First
hitting
time
a
the other
lot.
day, I was wondering, you know,
Now.
But doesn't it give you something, Tom, that you really
Okay, I've
can't
been
get
hitting a lot.
anywhere
Wow.
else?
yeah, it's fun. Do you have something, do you have an escape of
I
any
don't know
kind?
why.
Just my
yours is-
girlfriend.
But I'm wondering,
Oh, wait,
if
Troubleshooter, no, I think I might.
if I would miss that escape, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, Tom Martino, the troubleshooter.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Hey, we're coming off a holiday weekend. And that means we're in a holiday mode. All summer, people kind of lay back. Welcome to the show, the only show that's kind of anywhere, where we try to solve your problems, make your life happier. That's all we do. You know what I love about this show? No matter what your politics, no matter what your religion, no matter what your orientation in any way, shape, or form, we love you to help you. And that's great. This is the only show where we can all come together, and you're not going to hear anything except when it comes to money, finance, personal accomplishments, things that you want to do with your life that we can help you. Or if you think you've been lied to, cheated, or ripped off, this is the only show that does it. There is no other show that encompasses this stuff. And just right off the air, talking to David Salisbury, my guest today, he is an attorney at law that does probate, and basically probate includes a whole bunch of stuff. I don't even like to call it probate. Probate denotes a court case when somebody dies, but he does estate law, estate planning. That could be a simple will, that could be a trust, that could be multiple trusts, it could be all kinds of stuff. It could be simple, around $500–600. It could be several thousands of dollars, depending on your estate. The whole idea with estate planning, what is it? It's to leave stuff to others without having an unnecessary tax burden. That's basically what it's all about. Or to avoid conflict upon your death. Because no matter how you think people get along, when it comes to money and when it comes to death, people get weird. Oh my God, I've seen families split up. I'm sure David Salisbury has seen families split up over stuff, over little things. Oh, Mom always wanted me to have that. You know, how many times have you heard that? But she didn't mention it in the will. 303-713-TALK. If you have a question about a will, an estate of any kind, probate, if you have a sudden need, someone just died, give us a call. You know, David's always available for consultations, free consultations, complimentary up front, 720-493-3911. But right now, we're all here. Here's the number, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. And as I said, I wanted to talk about something that was sparked by a holiday. But first, Sandy, who has a question for David. A deceased husband, still on mortgage. She has a question. And meanwhile, if you want to get through, you can get right in at 303-713-TALK. And, of course, our number that always works, 303-MARTINO. What's happening, Sandy?
Okay, so my ex-husband and I had been divorced for about 3 years. He passed away in November of last year. And no one's handling his estate. There really is no estate. He owed people tons of money. His dad's on hospice. His mom has dementia. We have 2 kids. They're 9 and 11. But my problem is this house is one thing we still had together. My
Okay,
name's on the
upon
deed,
what
both
was
of our names are
on the
mortgaged.
hold on the divorce decree, how was the house disposed of?
There was none. He didn't show up for the divorce hearing, so we just kind of dealt with it.
Well, how did you deal with it?
I let him. We had a house in Nebraska, which I kept and I sold. I tried to rent it out. I tried to sell it. He wouldn't let
No,
me. So
I'm asking the house you're in right now. How did you deal with it?
I just let him do whatever needed to be done as long as the payment was made.
Whose name is on the mortgage?
Right now, it's just mine. I just got his name taken off. with,
Okay. How did you get his name taken off?
I had to send in a death certificate, proof of,
And this was the house you were living in?
No, I was not living in it.
So you
Neither one
moved
of us
out.
was living in it.
You moved out.
Yes.
Was he
Yes.
living in it?
No, he had renters in there.
Okay. So this is a rental home that was in both of your names, the deed. Whose deed is it?
It's in my name.
Was it always in your name alone?
No, it was in both of ours.
How did you get the deed and the mortgage put in your name? Did you go to probate?
No, he actually signed over a quitclaim deed to me about a year ago because he wasn't
Okay.
making the payments.
So
and then he
right
started-
now, you have the deed and you have the mortgage. Is that right?
Right. But
Okay.
I just got the mortgage in my name. The problem is like I said, it's an insurance thing, so it's kind of both. So he's gone. When he took over the house, he dropped the insurance on it, so it's got a lender-placed policy.
It's a forced insurance.
So, right. So there was an explosion on New Year's Eve. The renters blew up the basement in a hash oil explosion.
Okay.
So the bank is going to issue the check because the insurance company is sending it to the bank, and then they're sending it to me, but his name is still on it.
Why?
So my question is, because he wasn't deceased at the time. Well, he was, but it was just a mess.
All right, first of all, you got to get that lender-placed insurance off there and buy your own insurance. You're paying...
I have that.
Okay.
No, I have that now.
Okay, so what you need to do is you need to show a death certificate, show that you own the home, and simply ask the insurance company to reissue the check.
Okay, so they issued it to the bank. Do I talk to the bank about
Well,
that?
if they issued it to the bank, they issued was it a joint check made out to both of you? To the
Yes.
husband and to the bank?
Right.
Okay,
to the
so
bank,
David
to the
Salisbury,
bank.
if an insurance check was issued to the deceased and the bank, the lender, and now she's on the note, I would imagine they would let her sign that check knowing the death certificate and all of that, or would they? I think the bank should ask for a new check.
Excuse me, Sandy, if I was you, I'd go back and get a check just in your name. You
And
own
the
the
bank.
property. Yeah, the bank. You own the property. You're the only borrower on it.
Yeah.
That's what needs to be done. Because
I think the bank
question
would
is-
request that because the
Yeah.
bank is the one that wants this cashed.
Right.
Have the repairs been made?
Oh no. They came back with a settlement of $7,000, and the contractor said $33,000. It's been 6 months, and I still don't have it taken care of with the.
Why did you want this house?
I don't want this house. I actually have people that want to buy it, but I can't sell it to them because I don't know what the insurance company is fixing.
Well, what if you're stuck with the house? What if the insurance company doesn't pay enough?
Then I'll just sell it.
Here's what I think you should do, okay? David Salisbury, as he said, he wants that check in your name because you are now the insured, okay?
Okay.
Well, not the insured, but you are now the owner. You need to call the lender and simply say to the lender, look, that check is doing you no good. We can't get any repairs done until a check is issued in my name. I'm on the paperwork. It's up to the bank to ask because the bank is the one that holds the mortgage. The bank is the one that has the risk. The insurance company will not change the endorsements on that check unless the bank tells them to. If the bank says, please issue the check to us, now you can issue it to them alone or to the bank and you, but not your husband, now your ex. Here's the other thing you need to do. You need to contact our insurance adjuster. I'm talking about a public adjuster because if you...
I have talked to him. This happened in Grand Junction.
Who did
He
you
was
talk
trying
to?
help me
Who did you talk to?
The New Yorker.
Oh, you did? I love when you said that. What did he say about your settlement? Did he say he could help you?
He said that it was pretty far away, and he was trying to find someone that was closer to me to help.
I understand because you're in Grand Junction. Because he's pretty good, and if you've already gotten a settlement for, let's say, $7,000, he wouldn't charge you anything on that. He would only charge 10% on the additional money. But he can't go, and he'd get a lot more money, but apparently he's not going to go all the way over to Grand Junction. I can't say I blame him. But he's trying to find someone who can help you?
Yeah.
Okay. Meanwhile, David... don't you think it's the bank's place to ask for that check to be issued?
Yes, and I'll also tell you, Sandy, if they won't do it, there's no one to sign for your ex-husband.
Right.
And therefore, the only way you'd be able to do that, sign his signature. You can sign your own, obviously, but to sign his, you'd have to open a probate for the mere purpose of being able to
dispose of that check.
Dispose of the check.
Which is ridiculous.
Yeah, which is absolutely ridiculous.
So go to the bank. Listen, the bank wants this check negotiable. They don't want it to be in your husband's name. And they'll see the death certificate. They'll see the house was transferred. And they'll know the situation. And they will ask. And if they ask the insurance company to please reissue the check, they will do it. They will. Okay? Since it was lender-placed insurance, they are definitely the customer here. Okay, not you. Call us back if you have a problem, And meanwhile, I hope our public adjuster, Freddie, can find someone to help you over there. This is where he is golden when it comes to damages like this. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Okay, so you heard his voice. David Salisbury is here, as I said. And we can talk about anything to do with his, of course, his specialty, or we can talk to about anything, and he chimes in. He's a good guy. 303-713-8255. One Clear Choice Garage Doors. For all your garage door needs, you will never do better than One Clear Choice Doors. I can recommend them highly for any garage door at any time. One Clear Choice Doors. 303-565-6409. So, anything happen, Mark, on the show? Everything cool? Do you have any good usually kick-ass cases that come up? Nothing kick-ass this time?
No, we had a great show, but I kind of...
Did that 303.
Oh my God, you wouldn't believe it. Bring that up. We'll talk about that. That'll blow your fucking mind.
Poor guy, settle. I mean,
It's fucking guy. Fucking guy's all I do is talk about.
Westbound I-70 at Havana, expect delays. Weather forecast. Thunderstorms possible in spots this afternoon with a high near.
You know who I'm talking about, right?
No.
Your buddy, the cable cowboy.
Mark.
Yeah,
Mark.
Okay, tell me about it.
And 303.
Okay, what happened?
So what happens is, Mark calls him up after we discussed it. Remember,
He said he was
December, I got it down to 1,600.
and he was going to pay it.
2 weeks ago, you got it down to 1,600.
Right.
So for 6 months, everybody's agreed on 1,600. He calls the guy up.
That's what the recording said.
That's right. So 303 decides they're going to add on storage.
Oh.
So he goes to pick it up, and it's 2,200.
Why are they being a jerk?
Well,
Come
then-
on, now that's weird.
I got him on, and we got it back. He went down and grabbed it Friday or Saturday and paid the 1,600.
Oh my! Why was he doing that?
I beat the shit out of that guy too. I beat the living shit out of that guy over the air. I couldn't believe this prick was doing this again.
And he was a good guy, and he should have.
See, and Mr. Good Guy over here. A good guy doesn't add on. A good guy doesn't negotiate
No.
twice.
I said
and then add.
until then he was a good guy.
I just couldn't believe it, Tom. I was honest to God. And Dan was prepping him before the show like I've never heard. Listen, man, you really need to let him pick it up. As soon as Mark hears this, this is going to be crazy.
And then the owner called. We said the other owner and stuff wouldn't. And then he called me, and I said, "Well," I said, "I'm done talking."
That's what happens when you rely on monitoring.
Digital marketing is scary. I just bought something online, an image online, and now I got two other ads from image companies in my email asking me to sign up.
Yeah, of course. Because when you agreed to something, they shared you instantly.
With LifeLock, we didn't have to arrange by identity threats. If you have a problem, one of our U.S.-based specialists will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions.
80237.
But LifeLock keeps
It's 237 here, right?
Yes.
your credit. Memberships start at $9.99 a month plus applicable taxes. Join now for 10% off. Go to lifelock.com and enter promo code LifeLock. That's promo code LifeLock. LifeLock. More protection.
They know everything you're doing in your life. Why do you think they like Safeway and King Soopers want you to do the car is not just to get a discount. Now they know everything that you bought.
They know your
They
buying
now have a
habits.
marketing image of you.
But that's why I'll buy old shit like
Well,
Cane's
credit card companies make a ton.
and
Because
medication.
credit card companies sell based on what you buy.
Or you won't use it
On my own, then they think I'm old.
Oh, okay.
I fool them and I buy old people shit, like diapers,
And take it back.
and then I return them to a different store, not using my King Soopers card. I get those pricks.
Get your damn diapers.
Can you imagine going out of your way just to throw their data off?
What kind of diapers do you wear, or is it?
Depends.
Or it depends.
Depends.
Or it depends.
Ah!
Good day or bad day.
Oh, that's great. Okay, boom. Our place is booked.
Oh, for the
Yes, we're going to talk about that too.
Oh, I need to bring that up.
For free. Call them right now.
Poor, on the crossover, he was talking about the Denver Post. And I looked at him, I said, what's the Denver Post?
Oh, you're supposed to go in there and tell them what you want to talk about. Remember, he wants to work you in. Did you do it that way?
Is that what he said?
Yeah, he wants to do it more organized. You go in and tell the producer ahead of time, and then he'll work it in or something.
I'll add that to the banner. Can you tell me that?
I'm Tom Martino. Welcome to the show where we are solving problems, answering questions, and taking complaints. So happy you're here. Bill, what is your question for our guest, David Salisbury, attorney at law? You can have any question, by the way, if you're calling. It doesn't have to be for David, but we love having him. So what is it about, Bill?
Okay, thank you for
yes, sir.
Answering.
Yeah.
I've got a special needs daughter that is currently on SSI. And I understand the look back and all that in case something is followed up or whatever.
And for those listening, SSI is Supplemental Security Income. Is that right?
That's correct. Yes.
And she's not on SSDI, which I wonder why. Are you on Social Security?
I am. And
okay.
She's 50 years old.
Okay, so she's getting SSI tagged onto yours for her.
Yeah,
okay.
Well, it's in her name, basically,
okay.
And for the benefit of her, yes.
I'm just wondering why she doesn't get SSDI, disability.
Well, maybe I should look into that.
Yeah, okay, so go ahead.
Well, I want to update our family trust and try to guard against any look back and take back by the government. And I am I am thinking of a strategy that sounds a little bit like this. In the family trust, I would create a trust for my daughter, maybe up to the point of 2 to 3 years of benefits for her, including all her living expenses and that kind of thing. And then the rest, which would be fairly substantial, would be put in a general name of the family trust. So my question is, if I do this and the government has a look back and a ailment about the special needs trust that has been created for the daughter, do they have any capability to go and also attack the family trust, which would supplement any financing for Jennifer when it's needed to do when the
what do you think, David?
Trust runs out of
Is he going about this the right way, David? Hold on, your mic's not on, sir.
Bill, I'm sorry. What you do in that kind of situation is you do create a special trust within your estate planning documents that's solely for her benefit.
That's correct.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
And it's referred to as either a special needs trust or a supplemental needs trust. Now, all the money in that trust can only be used to pay for items, expenses that they won't pay for.
I understand.
Okay, well, that's how you need to do it, and that way that money's available to her through the end of her life.
Yes.
And but if you don't set it up, that's why I would not tell you to have the other money in a general trust fund. Whatever you want to give her, put in that trust that's solely for her benefit, and make sure the language needs to be very, very particular. Otherwise, the government's going to say she basically can get her hands at that money any time.
Okay.
So the supplemental needs trust says, she has no control over it. She can't get any of the money. The trustee, in his or her discretion, can use money for certain items that the government will not pay for.
Okay, that's the way I understand it. But my question is, if there is a look back and they attack the special needs trust that I have created, can they also go and hit the family trust?
There's not a look back in that situation. The only time there's a look back is if somebody's applying for Medicaid. Let's say you were applying for Medicaid and you want to make yourself not indigent, but having no money, so you would be eligible for Medicaid.
You don't have to worry about it.
And you start giving away money, then there's that 60-month look back.
So short answer
is, but if you die, it goes in the trust, in the story.
Yes, I'm talking about the irrevocable kind of trust, and my concern was that when her family needs when the special needs trust runs a little shy of money, because I would then ask the trustee to take money out of the general family trust and fund the special needs trust to the point where it would cover her for, let's say, a year or 2 years. That's my...
in concept, I don't have a problem with that as long as it's clear that the money in that family trust, she has no right
control.
to any of it.
Now, by the way...
Yes, okay.
Why don't you give David a call and let him help you out? David's a great guy. 720-493-3911. Okay, Stuart, what's going on with you, Stuart? Welcome.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
My brother owned a house in Brighton, Colorado, and he moved out of state, him and his wife, and he was renting out the house, and he didn't have a lot of money, but he was still renting out the house. He calls me up, tells me go look at the house, and renters, they had not received the rent for him, so they had trashed the house completely. It was horrible. He was going to let the house go, and I said, no, don't let the house go. You have perfect credit on the house. I'll take over the house. So I take over the house. I start renting the house.
Now, wait a minute. How did you take over?
Management
or ownership?
Well, I got them both to sign over quitclaim deeds to me.
Who's the mortgage in?
In both of my brother and his wife's name.
So you are just a quitclaim deed holder.
Correct.
Okay, now what happened?
Okay, so I go in, I take over the house, I fix the house up, I put in like $5,000 in, and I start renting the house. It has zero equity when I take over. So I started renting the house and get it going. Through the years, this is 5-6 years that have gone by that I've gone through different...
And now what? Now what?
Now, in the time, they've gotten divorced. And I never got the name out of their. I never got the house out of their name because
I thought you said you had a quitclaim. You just told me that.
Well, actually, for the note.
There is no quitclaim for a note.
Exactly. So I got the.
So wait a minute. No, Stuart, when you took over this house, you got no documentation giving you the home.
Other than the quitclaim deed, no.
There is no quitclaim deed. You just said.
No. They signed over quitclaim deed. Well, see, so then
Stuart,
I'm misunderstanding.
if they signed over the quitclaim deed, you own the home.
Okay, there's more to it though.
Did you record the quitclaim deed?
So I did not file it right away.
It doesn't matter.
Then,
when did you file it?
About two years ago, but it was filed wrong.
How?
They did not put the exact location or the exact address of the house, like lot B filing something.
They didn't put the legal description in.
Correct. But so I got a hold of the county assessor, and she said they do not need new signatures. They said you can just go add that and refile it. It's an addendum to the deed, and so I did that.
Okay. Then what?
In this time, she filed for bankruptcy.
Did the trustee take the house?
Excuse me?
Did the trustee take the house?
The second.
What do you mean the second?
There's a first and a second. She put a lien. She filed a bankruptcy on the second mortgage, not the first.
Okay, but when did she? The second mortgage, was that in place when you took over the home?
Correct. Yes.
Okay, so there was a first and a second when you took over the home.
Right.
Why did you take over the home? I'm curious.
Just to get an investment property.
All right. So now you have a quitclaim deed on a home that has a first and a second. She went bankrupt on the second. Then what?
So I went to go pay the loans one day. I've made all the payments for the last 6 years. I went to go pay the loan, and the second wouldn't take the payment. They said we cannot take the payment, that there's a bankruptcy on it.
Right.
And but then I eventually called back, and then they started letting me make the payments. I said, well, no, I got to keep this up. If I'm going to fight for this house to be mine, I want everything still to be intact. So we haven't missed a payment.
But remember this: according to that that loan has nothing to do with ownership. Even though you own it, a quitclaim deed only quitclaims to you, only transfers to you the ownership above and beyond the loan. The loan is first. They actually own the house first. The second owns the house second, and you own the house third. Even though you have a quitclaim deed, they have more rights to that house than you do. So what is going on now? We need to get to your question.
I'm trying to sell the house.
Okay, if you want to sell the house, you have ownership, you can sell it, and they have to take payment in full for those mortgages.
How do I get the bankruptcy off the second?
Okay, you don't get the bankruptcy off the second. All the bankruptcy is doing is relieving your sister-in-law from the obligation. It does not remove the security interest of the bank. Therefore, the bank is in error by saying they cannot receive payment for it. They're wrong. They can't receive payment from her. They can receive payment from you. Here's the deal. Many times banks, even attorneys who represent creditors, do not understand bankruptcy law. They're morons, basically. This bank thinks they can't be paid on that loan. They are wrong. They can be paid all day long on that loan. I can come in and pay anyone's debt who is in bankruptcy. They can't demand it from the creditor, or excuse me, from the borrower, but they can take it from you. If they won't accept payment, it's because they're stupid. I don't know what else to tell you. If you go to a closing, that title company should get a payoff amount from both mortgages and pay it off.
So they started accepting it. So that's fine. So here's my question though. I was trying to sell it, and this mortgage company, they saw there was an addendum to the deed, and so they refused to touch it. So do I just need to go to a real estate company that will take that to sell it?
There's nothing wrong with an addendum to a quitclaim deed. There's nothing wrong with the transfer of ownership you did. If the title company refused to take it, is it the title company or the lender?
It's the title company.
Then go to another title company, because there's nothing wrong with that quitclaim deed. All I can tell you is find someone, maybe call Frank Duran, the real estate man, and let him handle it for you. Let him talk to the title company and explain what's going on. He's a great guy. He handles all kinds of problems like this. Of course, he can do a normal listing and a normal sale. He can also do normal purchases, but he is a specialist at helping to overcome problems like this. As long as everything is in place, Frank can take care of it. It's Frank Duran, therealestateman.com, 303-920-1622, 303-920-1622. He can handle it. All right? There's no problem. We have more coming back.
Let's talk about buy and build, a place that I love talking about. Because buy and build buys and passes on contractor pricing to you. In fact, you can go there as a do-it-yourselfer, or send your contractor there, or go there just to buy stuff and then hire someone.
If you send me that stuff on that seminar, I'll put it on the banner.
I'll update it here in a minute.
Okay.
Sinks, toilets, faucets, ceiling fans, and more. 303-295-6022. 295-6022. Buyitbuild.net.
Rates are still low. Save thousands and have lower payments. Take AIM, Affordable Mortgage. Whether you're refinancing or purchasing your new home, we have new loan programs that allow you to borrow 97% of value. Stop paying $400 a month or more.
Okay, two things with the thing in my shoulder is getting worse, not better, and I never even had that much pain before. My back is great, but my shoulder,
What do you make of it?
and my tinnitus is worse. So both things I'm getting treatment on. So what do you think?
Time.
When did the shoulder start hurting? Did you do something with it? Exercise?
It's been
Pick
for
something
years.
up?
I've always had a sore, just sore, just sore. Nothing great, but now it's worse.
When you do what? Just go
if
like that?
If I lift like this, if I try, it's just a soreness, and it's always been there. It's not a sore actually. It doesn't hurt like now. There it goes when I move. And so it's just something I've always had, just something. And I had treatment on it, and it did. And I don't know if it's my imagination, but it got worse. But I think that.
You should do like me. I just ignore all this.
Yeah, you got to ignore shit like that.
I'm 65. It's like, yeah, okay, I got a little pain there. Well, I'm not worried about it.
Not that she shouldn't, you know what I'm saying. I feel great, and but I know those little aches and pains stuff is gonna come my way eventually. But you're young. You're a young man.
You do what Tiger does.
Huh?
Do what Tiger does. Tiger Woods.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and then pass out at the wheel.
Is that what he did? He did passed out.
Oh yeah, but they ran drug and alcohol on him, and it was zero. No, it was not drugs or alcohol.
So why was he arrested?
Because they found him asleep in front of the wheel, and they could tell that he was drugged. But when I say drugs, he told them that he had whatever the painkiller was. Yeah,
and they didn't find that.
Oh, I don't know if they found that. I shouldn't say that. There was no alcohol in the system. I misspoke.
And that's what I said on the thing that he said it was not alcohol.
Percocets, I think.
I don't know what's worse, huh?
Well, obviously, alcohol's bad, but so is that. But, you know, a lot of athletes get hooked on painkillers. It's so easy.
Yep.
That sucks. Well, you know what it is? It takes away frickin' pain. And the only problem is that it builds tolerance. So then you got to take more. And then what it does is sensitize you to pain. So it becomes this cycle. It's just weird the way it works.
I think they said he had been hanging out with Rush Limbaugh that afternoon, earlier in the afternoon. But I'm sure there's no connection at all.
And they were changing meds? Yeah, I like this one better.
Hey, dude, try some of this.
You think that stuff's good?
Yeah. Hey, I'll go get my maid to go out and buy it for her in case she gets busted. We'll just say we don't even know her.
That's pretty good, David.
Thank you.
She did.
Yeah, that's a long time ago.
Yeah, it was a while back when he did that. No, I agree on that.
So here's the deal. It really takes care of pain. But then you need a little more. But here's the worst part. It literally peaks your pain receptors for some reason. So then when you get off it, you feel more pain than ever. So you can say to yourself, well, I really am in pain. I need it. So then you take it, and you keep taking more until your heart stops. It's like that crazy.
Well, and the doctor cuts you off. Now what do you do? Now you go out and you buy it from somebody.
That's an irresponsible doctor. If he got you hooked, that's bullshit. He's got to help you. But here's the other thing. You know, because when I had my lower back, I took some pain pills. And it makes you feel so good. But I will not take them anymore, and I'll tell you why. Because I can't feel them anymore. So
what's the purpose?
I don't want to take more and more and more, because if I take enough to feel them, I just keep building up tolerance.
How do you send a bunch of people an email without them seeing other email addresses in Google?
PCC.
That's the only way. Okay.
So how long do you think your body takes?
Or you make a group on contact. What you say?
To desensitize yourself. Like say you had.
Okay, I've stopped taking them years ago. If I took 10 right now, 10 milligrams, I would not feel it.
Wow, your body's
after all these years. I don't know how long. I have no idea how long.
Wow.
I couldn't feel 10 years.
Girl, late last year she said, don't you worry if I disappear. I told her I'm not really looking for another mistake. I called an old friend.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Okay, now, Mark, what's going on with you, Mark?
Hey, how you doing today, Tom?
What's happening with your girlfriend?
Well, I did a little Tom Martino investigation.
Okay.
Always being a listener of your show.
Yeah.
So she's telling me her ex has got financial problems. So I come across one of her ex-husband's bank statements in her car, and I can't make heads or tails why someone's got a $500 payout every week.
Wait, who's paying who?
Well, he's paying somebody $500 a week, but she won't say why. All she cries about is his finances and wants me to rent out.
Was she married to this guy?
Yes.
So her ex-husband is paying $500 a month or a week to somebody, but she doesn't know why.
She's got to know, because I even asked her, well, what's the finances? And she's real.
And why is she bitching about his finances anyway? Is he not paying something he's supposed to pay for her?
Well, she magically moved him back into her apartment.
For what reason?
She said he's struggling financially.
She's giving you the okey doke.
No, wait a minute. Is he paying her $500 a week?
No, that I know.
So what do you think's going on? What do you think? Obviously, you think something's up. What's up?
Well, I think it's either he did something bad, and there's a huge fine that he's paying off, or something.
And so, but what does this have to do with you?
Because she is asking me to finance a house and wants me to rent my condo to this guy.
Why is she so into this guy? Why is she so into helping him?
You lost me there, Tom.
Why is she so into helping this guy?
She claims it's her ex-husband, and now they're the best of friends, blah, blah, blah. Nothing's making sense, Tom. I'm using instinct. Why is he living there if he's got a huge debt or something out there?
I agree. This sounds too strange to me.
Thank you.
Too strange. So what are you doing about it?
I told her I ain't going to rent to him.
Right. So what do you need us to do? How do we help you?
My question is, what my gut instincts are telling me is, if you're paying someone $500 a week and I can't see where it's going, to me it sounds like he got pinched on something bad.
Right,
like
right. But why do you care, in other words?
Well, I kind of care about her, and I want her to kick this guy to the curb.
Oh, okay. But that's what bothers me. Why does she have such a commitment to this guy? It bothers me. It just bothers me.
Tom.
And I mean, you may have to have a stern talking to, like break up kind of thing. I mean, is he still living with her?
He moved into her apartment.
How long have they been married before that?
They were married 12 years. And
no, man, this
4
doesn't.
Years ago.
I would not tolerate that at all. Listen, I do not want my honey living with her ex-husband. Come on. Come on.
You're right, Tom.
You just got to take a hard stand. You have to take a hard stand and just say,
it's
right, it's over. And I wouldn't, you know what? You shouldn't have to. Here's the deal. For you to dig up dirt on this guy just to get him out, that's not right. She should want to get him out anyway, just because it's her ex-husband and she's going out with you now. That doesn't feel good, that you have to work all this hard to get done or to get rid of him. It just doesn't make sense. Joe's got a question for our guest, David Salisbury, on a beneficiary deed. Go ahead, Joe. First of all, a beneficiary deed is a deed that transfers ownership. How does it work, David? Just explain that to begin with, then I'll have a question. Go ahead.
Okay. If you want to make sure a property goes to someone, your kids, whoever, but you don't want to give them current legal rights to it, you can do a beneficiary deed. The property belongs to you until your death, and only then does it pass to whoever you've put on that deed. You can sell the property, you can finance it, it's yours. You can revoke the deed if you don't want to give it to the people
But then
anymore.
upon death, it automatically transfers outside of probate.
Right.
Okay. So, Joe, what is your question for David?
Well, hi, David. Hi, Tom.
Hey.
David, you had written a beneficiary deed for me, and I recorded it with the county, like you advised. My question goes beyond that now. So my wife and I are gone. The house goes to the kids. Is it pretty much a cut and dry procedure for them now to sell the house with that beneficiary deed?
All they'd really have to do is show a death certificate, and it belongs to them.
Gotcha. Okay. And that avoids probate, I think you said.
Totally. Yes, that is the reason to do it.
Okay. Okay, well, that was my concern.
Okay,
just, you know, what's beyond that? And you did
Nothing.
it.
It's really a great way to hold real estate. And then they get the benefit of the stepped-up basis upon your death rather than your original basis if you do it when you're alive. And I hope that makes sense to everyone. Howard says he was ripped off by an auto repair shop. Howard.
Hi, Tom. Good morning.
Hey, those are strong words. How'd you get ripped?
Well, my wife was in an accident, and I brought it to a collision place to get it fixed. And we didn't want to go through insurance, so we discussed, he wanted to get paid cash. And I agreed to that, and the price was $3,500 to repair the car. Now, when I went there, and I spoke to the gentleman, Neil, who's the owner, when I went to pick up my car a week later, the work was substandard. He used.
And how
Bondo.
much did you pay?
I paid $3,500 in cash to have the car fixed.
Okay. Now, how did you find this guy?
Online.
Jeez. Okay. So, so you paid him $3,500 up front?
No, after the job was completed.
After the job was completed. Okay.
And I'm not a body shop type of guy, so to me, when I took it out, everything seemed to be okay. I had a few questions for him, but everything seemed to be okay. And then a week later, my roof rack started coming up, and it was glued instead of screwed down. My rear bumper is almost hanging off, and there's big spaces between the bumper and the rear quarter panel. And the quarter panel, he used Bondo. Instead of getting a new quarter panel, he used Bondo to mold it.
Yeah, well, he did a lousy job. So what is your question for us?
Well, my question is there any type of recourse that I have where I can try to get my money back?
Well, yeah, I mean, your small claims court, we can call him. I mean, if he did a lousy job, it's not worth $3,500. Yeah, you got all kinds of recourse. I mean, the guy just basically did a terrible job.
Awful job.
So, I mean, would you want us to call him? What does he say when you complain?
He told me basically to have a nice day. When I asked about the roof rack, he said that wasn't part of the estimate, and it was part of the estimate. And it was glued down, like I said, and it's been just a numerous amount of problems with the vehicle ever since I got it back.
Okay. What's the name of the place?
It's called Lee's Discount Auto Collision.
And where is it located?
In Westminster.
Okay. And, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. You paid, he did the job, it's just bad. How bad is it? I mean, when you say bad, how bad is it?
From a 1 to a 10, it's a 3. It's awful, Tom. It's a bad job. You can see the creases still. You can see the bumper's not attached correctly. There's big spaces between the bumper. The quarter panel is still pushed in a little bit. It's an awful job, Tom. For $3,500 in cash, that I worked very hard for my money.
Let's call him and see what he says. Hold on a sec. Let's just call this guy Lee's Discount Auto Collision. We got more coming right up.
Not like that. What do you expect?
Does online mean Craigslist? I think it does.
Good news, that earlier wreck cleared. Another one pops up, though.
Pure water's coming on.
That has been cleared out of traffic. All lanes open. Now we've got a new wreck downtown on northbound I-25 at 8th Avenue. Backup's already to Downing, so...
Oh, I can't wait to get out of Dodge.
Plenty of time. Still a wreck
What do you mean?
southbound I-25.
Just get on vacation, man. We've gone 3 years.
And that's not
You're not
helping.
taking any vacations, Mark? In
Not
3 years?
In 3 years. Last place we went was Punta Cana right before I came back with you.
Are you sure? I mean, I thought you guys had taken some time off, but you didn't do vacation, is what you're saying, right?
No, we haven't taken, well, I mean, we might have taken a day off or something. We haven't taken any time off.
Wow.
Did the
Well, the
Taekwondo.
damn, honestly, the
Taekwondo.
kids have been keeping us freaking busy as shit. Yeah.
That's like vacation?
Yeah, Taekwondo weekend. 30 hours of watching your kids do Taekwondo, that's a hell of a vacation. By the end of it, I want to hang myself.
I mean, my vacations are going to see my mother,
Oh,
who's
yeah.
now 90.
Yeah.
And I adore the woman, but we're at a point now where she's sharp as can be, but
Oh, that's good.
it's not she can't go but so far.
not
So what
right.
do you do? She can't go and take a walk or anything.
Do you at least bring her out to dinner and stuff?
Oh yeah.
Dude, that's good for a 9-year-old.
And I let her, like if you had a dog, I let her put her face out the window and get the air and mess with her hair a little bit. She loves that. I adore my mother. I'm just kidding.
Pop the sunroof open.
She lives in Nashville now,
Oh,
near my sister. She moved there last year because she needed to be in assisted living and she wanted to be around. All her friends from 50 years, they've always helped each other. Now the only people they can help is themselves. 90 years old, yeah.
And that's good if they can help themselves.
Yeah.
My grandmother lived 94. She was good up till 90. Alzheimer's grabbed her. But up till 90.
That's not bad. 90?
Oh, shit. Well, and her dad lived into his 90s, and he had Alzheimer's. they lived in New York City. This, 1905, late 1800s. But he'd sneak out when he lived with her. He'd sneak out, and the cops would bring him home naked, just downtown New York City. Back then, I guess you could get. Nowadays, I don't think you get away with that very long.
No, you can't get away with anything.
No,
there are no warnings anymore. It's just
Well, yeah, I'm sure that was Alzheimer's along, right?
Oh, it was all out. Huh? Yeah, they ended up having to lock him in his room at night. I mean, that's kind of how you did it. So it was either that or send him to a mental institution, which they didn't want to do.
Put GPS on.
Yeah, back in 1900.
Yeah, and they didn't have like memory units.
You put a pork chop in his pocket and get a big dog.
And then he'd take his pants off. There goes the pork chop.
She would sit there when she was about 92, 93. I'll never forget. She had to be a little younger, 91, 92. But Alzheimer's grabbed her, but she'd have good days. So we're cruising up to, she came out here from Phoenix, and I bring her up to, not Cripple Creek, the one up by there. She loves the slot machines. So I'm bringing her up, and she starts telling me, like it happened yesterday, about how her and my grandfather, who died when I was really young, went to the picture show down in New York City, and it turned out to be a stag film. And my grandmother's telling me this, and I'm just thinking, oh my God, I just never had her in that life. Porn.
Probably mild porn. Although
it was in a theater back then.
Yeah, when Deep Throat came out, I was 18, and you could get in at 18. So my buddies and we all went. And we're walking in, and there's like some old couples here and there, and they obviously had no idea what the movie was.
Probably my
because as soon as it started, I mean, they were out of there. They just didn't know what it was.
They had no idea.
Can they hear us?
Yes.
Okay, but I'm not going to tell you.
She went total anti-porn, that girl. I read an article on her.
Oh, she lived in Colorado.
I didn't know that.
She died. She lived somewhere south of Denver. But she
It seems like a lot of women that end up in porn end up being very anti-porn. I guess it makes sense.
And she got paid nothing for that film.
No.
Basically. What a talent.
Hi, I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Welcome. David Salisbury with us, attorney at law, probate, trusts, wills, etc.
Hey, before the hour's over, small business seminar, June 6th.
It's really important.
Oh, my God. It's going to be in Castle Rock. We know where it is now. It's booked. It's ready to go. Referrallist.com, troubleshooter.com, right under the logo. Sign up. If you already signed up, I've already sent you out an email today with the location and everything, so no need to do it twice.
So remember, if you want to go to the small business seminar, no obligation, no cost to you. We just ask that you call and sign up, please. We want to know how many to plan for, and it's all free. Information will be abundant.
Bring lots of questions.
From accounting to marketing to digital to any question.
Credit card fees.
Any question you have on running a business.
Insurance. Do I need insurance?
Because you may be excellent at your trade, at your profession, but you don't know how to run the business end. We will talk to you about it. And all we want to do is enhance your life. We want to help you, whether you're on the referral list or not. Now, before the break, Howard said he had body work done at Lee's Discount Auto Collision, and he's very unhappy with it. He said he paid $3,500, and he got Bondo, drill and fill. He just doesn't like it. So he wants to get his money back or do something. What exactly do you want, Howard? What do you want?
Well, ideally, I would like my money back and have it redone at a more reliable shop. When I went back to him and discussed my concerns with him, Leo told me that that's the best he can do. Drop it. He said, that's the best I could do for you. And he asked me to leave.
Okay. So that's where we stand right now. You're just
Correct.
Unhappy. Okay.
And the work, yeah, I'm very unhappy because the work on the car, it's very visible that there's been work onto the car, and it's like I said, substandard.
Gotcha. I got you. You're just unhappy. Let's talk to him. And Leo, basically you heard he's unhappy. What do you have to say, sir?
Well, I talked with him. He came in.
Yeah.
You have to understand that this was a contract made between me and him when
Sure.
he first came in. Nobody could. Everybody wants to replace that panel. If you saw the picture, he has pictures of it. Ask him to show them to you.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody could have fixed that panel. Everybody wanted to replace it. I have a reputation for straightening metal. I told him I could straighten it. I said it wouldn't be perfect, but I can do you a good job.
Okay.
Now, if he replaces it, he was probably talking between $1,500 and $2,000 more than what I charged.
Mm-hmm.
I understand his thing when he came in. I gave you $3,500. I expect this and that and the other. I said, look at the estimate. He was complaining about the molding on top was up, wasn't gapped right with the head, with the light, rear tail light. And I said, yes, it isn't. I said, he said, well, you need to put a bolt in here on that top. And I said, you can't because it's busted off. And I said, if you look at that, that's glued. I didn't glue it. It's been like that since the car came in. I said, so that had nothing to do with me. I didn't break it. I didn't take it off.
But what about the Bondo? He's saying you did a bad job, basically.
I know he is. And if you saw the picture before, you'd realize that thing was really messed up. He said he bought the car. He just wanted to make it look nice. He wasn't. They come in like that. Sometimes people come in and they want me to straighten stuff that everybody else is going to cost a fortune. I try and help people out, and sometimes I get stuck like this. He came back.
So you're saying, what are you saying? It couldn't be done correctly? Is that? I mean, is that what I hear?
It needed to be replaced. I could straighten it, but I could not do it.
So in other words, you were trying to do him a favor by saving it.
Yes, I was. Well, I was saving it for him. I was doing it quicker, and I was saving him a lot of money, and I was going to do a decent job. Now he's complaining that the job is full of Bondo. It's not. I've got pictures of that car with the metal straightened out as best I could, and it is pulled back out. It was caved all the way in. I had it on a frame rack. I pulled all that metal back. I had to fit that tail light to that metal, and I did a good job. It's not perfect, I'll admit, in the way the bumper fit. The quarter, there's a gap here and there a little bit, but if you look at it, it wasn't a bad job for him saying it's all full of Bondo. It does have Bondo in there. It's not. You couldn't make a panel out of Bondo the way it was damaged if a person looks at the before.
Mark, what do you think?
Let me see what year was it?
I think it's crazy. The one guy thinks it's going to look good when it's done, and apparently it doesn't. So I mean, I wasn't there for the conversation. It sucks.
Okay, but did you look at it now?
No, we don't know what. We didn't see it, sir. We're just going by what he's saying. We didn't see it.
Well, yeah. So I knew he was going to badmouth me, but there's no way he's going to get his money back for something that
You did. You're saying what you're saying is you worked.
I put that on the thing. I straightened it out for him. I fixed it. If the person looks at it, it looks nice.
I'd like to see what the invoice says. Does the invoice said you straightened it?
That's what I want to look at. What year is that? Do you know? I got to bring up the estimate. I had a.
Okay, no, don't problem.
It's a 2006 Honda CR-V.
Okay, thank you. Let me get in.
Because if it says you're going to straighten it, it's not straightened. I mean, you need to do something.
We're going to run out of time, so hold on. He sounds like a good guy, Leo. He wants to address it, so let's talk to Leo. Hold on, Leo. We'll see what you have to say. We always want to give businesses a chance to discuss things. We want to remind you that we have David Salisbury with us, and if you have any problems, questions, or complaints, give us a call. Don't forget, go to referralist.com, look at the top menu items, go to the right-hand side to sign up for the business seminar. Hi, I'm consumer advocate
Tom Martino. You've heard of debt consolidation. Is it a good idea? Yes.
I don't know what he's talking
the
about.
right
It's fine.
way. Or should I say the ideal way? Here to explain is Brent Ivinson, president of Ideal Home Loans.
So many people have equity again, Tom. This is one of the ways you can truly let your mortgage work for you. Take care of that credit card debt. It's compounded daily, financed at high rates. You could be saving well over $1,000 a month. And remember, we're not going to have you stretch your debt out over 30 years. If you apply a portion of that savings back towards your home loan, you're going to be completely debt-free, mortgage and all, sooner rather than later.
Okay, I got to
call us at 303-867-7000 or apply online at idealhomeloans.com.
Call now, 303-867-7000. That's 867-7000 or idealhomeloans.com.
Kirk Hall, that's at the fairgrounds then, right? In Castle Kirk Hall?
Yeah, it is
at
the fairgrounds. That's the address, 500 whatever.
Okay.
Idealhomeloans.com.
This is Denver's Talk Station. More with Martino after the news on 630 KHEL, an iHeart radio station. KHOW, Denver.
NBC News Radio, I'm Lisa Carter. Ariana Grande is returning to England on Sunday to play a benefit concert for victims of the deadly suicide bombing in Manchester.
Good for her.
Grande and the British Red Cross confirming on Twitter the One Love Manchester event, which will raise money for victims. Joining her
No,
home
not
with
at
Justin
all.
Bieber, Katy Perry.
I think it's kind of cool she's
Cyrus,
going
Pharrell
back that
Williams,
fast,
and
don't you?
Coldplay. The
Yeah.
terror attack killed 22 people, injured dozens more after a concert by Grande last week. President Trump continues to be mostly quiet on the subject of Jared Kushner. He issued a statement to the New York Times Sunday night expressing his confidence in his son-in-law and the top aide. But the president has had little to say about a report Kushner tried to set up back-channel communications between the Trump transition team and Moscow. Court documents obtained by the Palm Beach Post are backing Tiger Woods' claim that no alcohol was involved in his arrest for DUI in Florida.
According to the documents, Woods was found by officers asleep behind the wheel of his vehicle in Jupiter at about 3 a.m. Memorial Day morning. His 2015 black Mercedes-Benz
Where's
was
Jupiter?
described as still running and
Right,
the brake lights on. The
West
documents
Palm
also
Beach,
say
north of
two
West Palm Beach.
breathalyzer tests were given to the 41-year-old Woods and were negative. In a statement, the
A lot of rich
14-time
people
major
live there.
champion said an
Imagine.
unexpected reaction to prescribed medications
Burt
was to
Reynolds is
blame.
famous there. He has a
Woods had
theater.
undergone fusion
Dinner theater
surgery
right
on his
there.
back about 5
Burt
weeks
Reynolds,
ago.
holy shit.
What would he do at a dinner theater? Was he a singer? Did he sing?
NBC
Or is
News.
this like
He
Tap
owned it.
dance.
Will not happen. Chelsea Clinton was
Have you
on
seen
NBC
pictures
News
of him?
this morning.
Lately,
She
he's
suffered
looking
with
a little rough. A little rough.
Same with Kenny
He's checking
Rogers.
out.
And again,
Yeah.
the question that will...
But I didn't know he had really a talent besides acting and stuff.
I don't think he
ever
does.
run for
Bert.
public office.
I mean,
I don't know why he has
unless he
it.
was
He just owns it.
it was a little joke.
He just owns it.
Yeah, he just owns it.
Chelsea Clinton's book for children is called She Persisted, 13 American Women Who Changed
Went
the
around,
World.
plus the-
You're listening
press
to
the
the
flesh
latest
with the
from NBC News Radio.
Intercourse.
Kenny Rogers, it's like somebody took as hard as they could, pulled it. I mean, he doesn't even look like himself.
You
It's
know,
weird.
Caitlyn Jenner, what was that? What's the Jenner, the guy who did that?
Yeah.
With quality auto parts,
He had
more
a
than
face
90 years of experience.
thing that
Yeah.
looked just like that, like he was looking outside.
Without anything on the road.
Everything's
So
fake.
stop by your local
And he
Napa
finally
store.
had a
Keep it running
wing-wangectomy too,
With
eventually.
Napa know-how.
Denver's talk station.
Oh, that's pretty.
I think the
that's
weird-
a little too final for me.
The weirdest damn thing is he got turned into a girl and then dated women. I just found that just
Oh, did he
unbelievable.
really?
And
That's
it's
it?
due to
Caitlyn.
flaws in settlement of soil.
He
We
started
have
dating
a new
women?
client, and I love this guy.
Do you think he did it
because
just
he
for the
does
publicity?
such a great
I
job
don't know.
on concrete lifting
lot to
and
go through.
stabilization. And
He
does free
was becoming a
evaluation.
lesbian.
He has both mud jacking,
Maybe
which
he
is
still is,
concrete
right?
mix, and he
think
has
so.
polymers.
I'm not sure.
What do you call that when you become a term? Well, he's not the whole.
Would require a different kind of approach. And because he does both of them, you're fully covered. So he will tell you what you need. And once you lift this concrete into place, you can then repair the cracks easily, and it's just a
Oh,
fraction of
what's
the
he
cost.
what's he
He wants to
saying?
talk. He says he's developed. He's almost soon to launch. He wants to do it coordinated with us.
Well, get his ass down here.
Well, let's call him.
Or let's.
Can
I'd
we
rather
call him
have
after
him
the
down
show,
here.
please?
And
Yes.
you'll love concrete lift and
I
stabilization.
know we're both so
If you
damn
have high
busy,
interest
but
credit card debt or student loans,
Damn it, what's the
and
place
feel
called?
like
Kirk
you
Hall.
never get ahead in your minimum payment every month? Hi, this is Ross Kaminsky from my friends at American Financing, and probably you're right. American Financing can help you by consolidating your high interest debt into one manageable monthly payment. Did you know you can refinance up to 85% of your home's current value? This could allow you to start saving hundreds, $1,000 or more every month. Rates are still near historic lows, so lock in your rate now, as rates are expected to increase again before the end of the year. American Financing's mortgage consultants are salary-based, and the conversations are simple, straightforward, and honest. There are no upfront fees, and you may be able to skip up to 2 mortgage payments. More savings for you. Call now before rates go up again. 303-695-7000. That's 303-695-7000. Or online at AmericanFinancing.net.
NMLS 182334, regulated by the Division of Real Estate. The Colorado Rapids take
Are
on
you
Columbus
able to-
Crew on June 3rd at 7
yeah, we got
p.m.
that one.
Head to the stadium early and enjoy a live pre-game concert by the DBC Denver, courtesy of the Blood Burgundy Concert Series. Go to ColoradoRapids.com.
Never shooting from the hip.
Oh, I know there's a ballpark with glass behind me.
It's the Michael Brown Show. Today at 4.
Doesn't this guy sound legit to you, this Leo?
On Denver's
Who's Leo?
talk station.
Oh, I don't know. I just want to see the contract.
The only thing he took
If it
out-
says he's going to straighten it and it's not straightening it, I got a problem.
No headache.
What'd you do with it, Dan?
Come on, Dan.
Dan-O?
He can't be too legit. He took cash for it.
Can be that
Why?
anxiety-free experience
Come on.
every level. Why? You're in one of the safest and
Because
most
it's illegal?
engineered vehicles on the road.
What do you mean it's
And with an
illegal?
unlimited mileage warranty.
He didn't.
It's not illegal to take cash.
I'll bet you didn't claim it. I bet the guy said for it.
Who said cash?
That's what the guy said. The who called in, Howard said. He said he did a cash deal.
You know, Mark! Did you make it?
Oh damn it! I was on.
You know, he doesn't
I was
like-
on David too. I didn't.
He doesn't like Bitcoin. Now he doesn't like cash.
Let me tell you, Bitcoin's the worst thing.
How about
I
that
never
other
seen
currency?
anybody that
Should
hates
we get involved in that other currency, guys?
The new one?
Please tell me if we should or not, please.
Not right now.
I think you should start your own currency. Seriously.
This is the Troubleshooter Show.
Help! I need somebody.
Now, Tom Martino, the Troubleshooter.
Help me if you can. I'm feeling down, and I do.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Here to help you solve problems, answer questions, take complaints, and make your life a little easier. We just want to help you any way we can. That's what we do each and every day. It's a wonderful thing, and all you have to do to take part in it is to give us a call. 303-MARTINO, 24/7. If we're not here, it'll go to voicemail, and we do talk about that a lot. We get to the voicemail, we discuss it amongst ourselves, we call you back if we think we can help you with anything. It's really a cool thing. And then if we're here, it's automatically routed to the studio. So remember, 303-MARTINO. Now, while we're here, too, you can call 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. David Salisbury with us, our expert in basically estate law of any kind. Let's talk to the owner of a body shop we got a complaint about. We love talking to business owners. We always give them the benefit of the doubt because their name is online. Mark, what did you want to say first?
Well,
sign up for our business seminar?
Well, we need to give that out, but I got to tell you what happened Friday with 303 Auto again. So let's go back to this business owner who's on, but then I got to catch you up on that. It was crazy. It's like the Twilight Zone Friday.
What was the problem, Mark? What was the problem?
Well, this is the same one in December I negotiated. Then 2 or 3 weeks ago, you negotiated it. We got to $1,600. The caller and the business owner, 303. The caller was Mark. And then, who was a business owner, Deputy Dan?
Scott Simpson. Sorry, Dan, I got that.
Yeah, so Scott...
No, he said originally, if I authorized it, I would pay it. And we saw that he didn't authorize exactly what they said, but he authorized a little more than he thought. So there was some compromise on both ends.
That's right.
We thought we had it all taken care of.
For the second time. It was $1,650 or
right.
$1,500. So Mark, the caller... says, hey, send me a final bill so I can get it paid. He sends over a bill. You ready for this? $2,200 plus. He all of a sudden decided to start charging him storage after he came on the air and decided that he would only, he agreed to the $1,600. I couldn't believe it. So I had a meltdown, but Mark luckily got over there and picked the vehicle up finally and paid the $1,600 and change.
But why was he changing his mind?
God, I don't know. Deputy Dan spent like an hour talking to him before the show trying to get him to change his tune because he knew I was going to go ape on him. I mean, it was insane. What was his logic, Deputy Dan?
Well, I don't know. Like I said, he was the good guy until that came up and stuff. And
I think that he got pissed off and he figured, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to at least get my money's worth out of this, or something like that. That's what he was going to do.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, he's, I'm going to get, what I did here. I'm going to recoup it through storage.
What is he, crazy? It was like throwing gasoline on me. I couldn't figure out for the life of me why he would go down that road again after we both talked to him at length and everybody agreed to something.
It happens, Mark. It happens. Welcome, by the way, to the show. We love doing what we do. We hope you love it. Let's talk to Leo, the owner of Discount Auto Collision Center in Castle Rock. We've always said something, that when a business owner comes on the show, right off the bat, that tells us that he cares about his business and his customers. Howard says, I think ripped off is a strong word, but Howard's very upset. He paid $3,500. and he said he didn't get a great job. Now, Howard, according to Leo, and we're going to let Leo talk, he said the reason he used some Bondo and he did straighten the metal and did not replace the part is because you were trying to save money, and you had gotten other bids and they all wanted to replace the part, and you went with him because he said he'd try to save it, and now it's coming back to bite him. So tell me, what do you mean?
Well, let me tell you something, Tom. First
Okay.
of all, I brought it to 2 other body shops to have them look at the work done. And they both told me, the body shops, that that's what gives body shops a bad name.
But you asked him, didn't you ask him to basically try to save it? The part? What
no,
part?
I asked him to fix it, not to save
What
it.
part are we talking about right now?
We're talking about the quarter panel.
Yeah.
We're talking about the rear
Okay,
bumper, and
so-
we're talking about the roof rack.
So, Leo, you said I did the best job within his budget. He didn't want to replace it. Is that right?
That's not true.
No, Leo, are you there, sir? Did Leo hang up? Hold on. Leo might have hung up. We're going to
There
try.
you go.
Well, hold on now. He didn't. I'll tell you, Howard. I want to help you, but Leo did not sound like a ripoff to me. But he said the reason he did what he did is he has a reputation for straightening metal, and you didn't want to replace it.
That's not true, Tom. That's not true
What's
at all.
the contract say?
Well, the contract gave me an estimate. It didn't say, like, he's going to try to fix it the best
So
way he can.
so the contract nor the invoice said he was going to do a half-assed job. You basically
No.
were under the impression, and the writing was in the contract, that he was going to fix it or repair it, right?
Correct.
See, I do have a problem with this guy.
What do you
Tom.
have a problem with him?
Well, I got a problem if the contract is what the caller is saying, that he's going to repair it, and he's not saying he's going to do a bad job at it. It should have been repaired.
Okay, so Leo, he is saying he went to you for a repair.
He knew it should be replaced. Everybody else wanted to replace
Okay,
that
so
panel,
one
and I
item at a
said-
time. Howard, did you know it should have been replaced?
Yes.
Okay, then why didn't you authorize him to replace it?
I saved him a lot of
I told him
money.
to fix
That's
it.
why.
I didn't authorize it. It was the same amount of money.
So, okay, you told him to fix it. So, in other words, had he said it needs to be replaced, you would have replaced it.
No.
Correct.
That's wrong.
Correct.
Well, that's not what Leo understands. Why wouldn't he have wanted to spend more money if you were willing to do it?
To do it right.
I don't know. I mean, that's what I'm asking you. Tell me where's the disconnect here?
The disconnect, can I speak?
Sure, Ken. Go
Here's
ahead.
The problem. People come in, and everybody else is going to charge them $5,000-$6,000 to do that job. He just bought it. He wanted to make it look nice. He's going to keep it, and that's what he asked me, could I do it a lot cheaper? And I said, the only way that I can straighten that. I said, I can't do perfect, but I can do a nice job on it. He said, yeah. I said, and it would save you. So I wrote it at $3,500, which is probably at least $2,000 under what everybody else wrote for it. So, yeah, and I did tell him. I said, I am good. I straightened it. But, see, you haven't seen the picture before. He hasn't showed that to you. If you saw what that was before, I did a miracle for that car, and I did it cheap. They comes back and they want perfect. That's
Hold on.
what happens when
No,
I do this with
I
people.
understand what you're saying, but he's saying he never had that conversation.
Yes, he did. He knew when he came in. He did not. Everybody, I said, that needs to be replaced. He said, yeah, everybody was giving him a quote to replace it. He didn't want to spend that kind of money on the car.
Leo, does this happen a lot with you?
Not a lot. Occasionally, my wife tells me not to do it anymore because I've been doing it over 50-some years. If you look at my reviews, I've got awesome reviews because I do good work. But when people come in and they want to save money, and and I work with them, it could be a little bit better. I'm not going to say it couldn't have been. What I'm trying to say is for the money that he got, that window was falling out of the side. Somebody else put all kinds of mud, glue in there to hold the window in. I mean, if you saw the picture before, that would speak for itself. That's all I've got to say. And if you look at it now...
So what do you have to say? Howard, he's saying you got what you paid for because you didn't want it done the better way.
Yeah.
That's not true.
Okay.
So he would have spent...
What does the contract... Okay, Mark, listen, Mark said he has a good point. Mark, this is what I usually say, and Mark is saying this.
Okay.
Okay, and this is, what does the contract say?
The contract doesn't have that part he's complaining about on it.
Does it have anything on there about the scope of work, whether to repair or replace? What does it say?
It says repair.
It says repair the quarter panel?
He didn't even have a copy. I tell everybody that comes through here that I fold up the estimate. When they pay for it, I tell them, here, put this in your glove box. If you come back or something comes up, you know, you've got the estimate. We can look at it, take care of it. He came back, didn't even have the estimate in hand, was all mad at me because there was a molding on top that he thought that I should have fixed that wasn't on the estimate. It wasn't part of the repair that I put down on my paper to do. I didn't say nothing about replacing the molding on top or repairing it or doing anything to it. My thing was right, if you look at the estimate in front of it, and then on top of that, he wanted me to replace the grill in front. He wanted me to do a headlamp assembly that somebody else was going to do for $150. Could I do it for $150? I agreed to do it for him, add it on to the estimate. I did a lot of stuff on that car that I did not charge him for that was free.
You got paid for it, Leo.
No, you didn't get paid. You didn't pay me for some of the stuff that I did that was free.
$3,500 from me, Leo.
$3,500, and you
send us a contract.
Yeah, and a picture. Ask him to send you the picture of the car, please.
You don't think it's poorly done, is what you're saying?
I'm saying it looks nice. It's not perfect. I'm saying
he's saying for the money, it's what he was going to give.
He saved a ton of money, and it looks good. I'm just asking you to ask him to send you the pictures, and then
I would love to send.
I'd like to see that.
All right, hold on. Let's do that. Let's see the pictures, or if you're not far, let's drive by. I mean, look at Mark. What do you think?
Actually, that'd be kind of cool. Why don't you drive up here, man? Let's look at the car.
Why don't you drive by? Let's look at the dang thing.
The shop owner sounds legit to me, Tom. The guy was trying to save money on insurance, didn't want to put in the claim, wanted to pay cash.
Who sounds legit to you?
The shop owner. He
Okay.
just sounds like he's being straight up
yeah,
to
but
me.
the car owner says, look, why would he be complaining? I don't know. Do you think he's complaining for the hell of it? He paid $3,500. He said, this is a terrible job. How much more would it have cost, by the way, Leo, to replace it? If he replaced it instead of fixing it, what would it have cost?
Between $18,000 and $2,000 more. Easy.
Why wouldn't it have been cheaper than working that thing?
What do you mean?
Then you had to work that. You had to work that thing. And
I like challenges. I've been doing this. I've been straightening metal for 53 years. I'm 70-some years old. I've been in business here 25 years. I'm going to get some people. I can't satisfy everybody all the time. But it usually happens with people that I try and help that come in and complaining about costs that they were going to pay for it themselves. And sometimes the insurance company pays them and I don't know it. And they just want to get, or sometimes they come in and I agree to save stuff for them to save money. And when I do that, I write it on the estimate. This one I didn't because he didn't come in with an estimate.
David, what do you think, man? You're sitting here listening like us. Give us some insight.
What do you think, David Salisbury? Come on, you're listening.
What do I think?
Yeah.
I think you're going to need to look at the contract and see, because right now we have a he said situation.
Yeah.
And look at the pictures, which Mark you can do, and look at the contract.
All right, we're going to do that. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. That's the only way to do it. By the way, David Salisbury's here. We also have a relationship with many other attorneys. Some I hope you never need, like Wink and Wink, our bankruptcy attorneys, but sometimes you get into trouble, you lost your job, maybe a death, a divorce, whatever it is. If you're in over your head, you need a fresh start, you need to explore a bankruptcy, a Chapter 13 or 7. They won't judge you, they'll just help you out. Mike and Gigi Wink, winkandwink.com, 303-410-1720.
A couple of crashes being cleared, some trouble across Maine.
You should ask Howard if he did get paid insurance on it. Maybe he didn't get paid insurance. He's trying to do a little cash on the side.
Backups to 225.
Who cares, though? There's no problem with keeping, if your insurance company pays you $5,000 for something, and you can get it done for $4,000, there is no problem. There's no problem.
Well, I thought
it's not illegal. There's nothing wrong with it.
I thought a roofer, if they pay for the deductible, that's not.
They can give a discount. It doesn't have to be the deductible, but they can give you a discount.
From with insurance that
Technically, like a good body shop would do it like this. I pay my deductible, then they give me a discount and send me a check back. I mean, I guess you want to get technical. That's
No. I just didn't like to say. I thought it was illegal that they did do that. And they got the insurance.
No, what would be illegal is you make up things that you get paid on that weren't damaged and you take the money.
The only thing you should care about is that we don't have an intelligence community that is being weaponized against Americans and political opponents in an election season. The only thing you should care about are politicians that don't pee their pants because they're so scared of their own shadow, or people that are so committed to being proven right like the Never Trumper people.
Hannity, weekday afternoons at 1.
Budget A1 Transmission in Auto Repair has a special you can't miss. Find, fix, or free any problem you have in your car for just $89 plus parts, or free. But you get more than just free.
No, let's send one of the kids. If it's the kids class, let's send Addie and Miles.
All the unknowns. 303-781-9858. 303-781-9858. And on my referral list at referrallist.com.
iHeartRadio is the easy-to-use app for talk radio, and we've made this app so you never have to be without us again. You can take 630 KHOW wherever you go.
Who's the guy that says they weren't getting the audio? The same guy as always.
No, it's Mike.
Connected to KHOW, so you never miss a thing.
He's on a weird satellite. He lives up in the woods. He lives in the woods like me, but his is the real woods. In fact, he lives in Woodland Park.
Just download the free iHeartRadio.
No.
Time to clean carpets.
It's up by Cripple Creek, kind of.
The ones who clean
I can't
west
believe
of the spring.
I can't believe you wouldn't get audio, but you get video.
Yeah, it's weird. He said he was getting audio on YouTube, though.
because when Zero Res
Maybe Facebook was just having a problem.
Facebook is
with their
has
patented empowered water, no
more.
soaps, harsh chemicals, or detergents. Right now, Zero Res is offering 3 rooms pre-treated, cleaned, and sanitized for just $124. In some cases, additional fees may apply. When I walk on my carpets after Zero Res,
I'm meeting with Freddie in the morning.
worry about dangerous toxins left
Or,
behind.
no, right after the show tomorrow. I think this is going to be a screaming opportunity, too, man.
Treated, cleaned, and sanitized.
It's an untapped market. After talking about him and how it works in Florida and these other big storm places, I got to tell you, this is an untapped market.
ZeroResDenver.com, 471-5150, or ZeroResDenver.com.
Bank of the West. In a changing world, you need a local bank with global strength.
Have a question about roofing? So many of my listeners do, and guess who I recommend first? Excel Roofing. Jay Breds is the owner and my friend, and it's been 20 years.
It seems like just yesterday.
Jay, first things first. When a customer thinks they have hail damage, what should they do?
Of course, they should call us at 303-761-6400, even before you call your insurance company. And we'll do an inspection and let you know if you have a claim.
And this is important because every claim inquiry you make, even if they don't pay you a dime, will count against you, and your rates can go up.
And Tom, we do more than the roof itself. We make sure that the roof will last and be.
You got to wonder how,
attic insulation and ventilation.
what is it called? What's it called when you freeze yourself, like Walt Disney?
Cryogenics?
I think so.
Yeah.
So how's your business going to work when that actually works? Like, are you dead? You know what I'm saying? What's going on here?
I don't know.
If you come back to life, can you sue everybody that took your shit while you were
Why
gone?
don't you ask Ted Williams if got his head somewhere? You can go by and ask him the question yourself.
It's Ross Kaminsky on Denver's talk station.
Hey, I bet one of these days it works, though. You don't think? I know it will.
I think it's more likely they'll be able to Facebook.
Hi, I'm Tom Martino. Don't forget, we are live on Facebook and live on YouTube. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Welcome. And if you want to sign up for the Small Business Seminar, please go to referrallist.com. Along the top menu item, go to the right, and it says sign up for a business seminar. Click it. Also, you can download the book Overtaxed.
This, I think, is the last day for a lot of counties, too, so you better get on it.
If you want to protest your taxes, this is a step-by-step guide in a book, free of charge, at referrallist.com. 303-713-TALK. Okay, Michelle, you have a question. What's happening? Michelle? Michelle? Okay, I'm going to just put it on hold for a second. Janine, what's going on?
Hey, how are you, Tom?
I'm doing good, Janine. Thank you for asking. What's happening with you?
Well, the deal with me is I hear that you are familiar with James Ross.
James Ross, he's on our Sleaze Brigade at sleazebrigade.com. Jim Ross is a rip-off carpetbagger.
Carpetbagger.
He's a carpet, he's disgusting.
He is.
Is he still around?
Is he, wait, is he ripping? Okay.
he is still ripping people off, in my opinion. If you look at his Facebook page, he's doing quite well. But he was court-ordered to pay us over $4,300 restitution.
Oh, but when?
Today was his deadline, and I haven't seen a dime.
And you won't.
Wait, so you actually fought him through bankruptcy? Oh, she got a criminal judgment is what you're saying. I gotcha. Well,
Yeah,
what do you
it was a
expect?
criminal
Did you
judgment.
wait? You got a criminal one?
The guy literally ripped off a man that was dying and couldn't walk. In fact, I don't think he's with us anymore, so the guy is capable of anything, in my opinion.
Correct. Correct. So he hired us to go do these homes down in Denver. We went and did the homes. Thought he was the GC. He lied. He was not the GC. Go to get paid. He forged lien releases to the GC in order to get paid and then took the money and bailed.
What's Jim Ross's?
Oh, gosh, this sucks.
So now I'm like, well, how do I go about getting my money out of him? Because he's living high on the hog, according to his Facebook, and hasn't paid any of his victims any restitution that was ordered.
Where does he live?
I'd like to
He's
go.
out in Arvada, I believe.
We should go after this guy, man. This guy has hurt so many people.
I wonder what he's doing.
Well, how can
I
he
don't
be?
know. His
Did you
last
say
company
he's on Facebook?
He is on Facebook, living high on the hog, him and his 3 kids and his wife.
Why do you keep saying living high off the hog?
Because all of his pictures on there, he's very well dressed. He shows vacations. He shows family outings. So he's not hurting for money to pay his victims back, is my point.
Well, I mean, the guy's a habitual liar. I mean, he could be living in the back of a pickup as well. I mean, we don't know with this guy.
That is true. That is true.
Okay, let's, do you have his phone number?
I do not have, I do. I have it programmed in my phone.
You know, he would be in contempt of court.
I would think something.
Is a judgment against him? Well, it's not a judgment. It's a criminal deal. Okay.
And he was ordered, here's how it was explained to me by the judge, is he was ordered to pay all restitution due before his probation period was over, which will be June 1st.
Well, is that judgment, is your claim of record, has it been recorded?
Oh, yeah, it's all through the district attorney's office. I have a case number and everything.
Then I think he's in contempt of court.
Yeah.
I think you have something that you can go at. You can definitely go after.
Don't they keep him on probation until that's done?
I would think. I don't know. I've never had to, fortunate enough to never have to deal with it.
Let's call Ross and see what he's got to say about it.
Yeah, let's call him. Hold on. I can't stand this guy. Carol, by the way, has a question for David Salisbury. Go ahead, Carol.
Hi.
Hey.
My question is, the forms that Dave Ramsey talks about on his show, something like U.S. legal forms, if you get those out and you do wills, are those legal in Colorado?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, they're legal as long as they're executed or signed correctly. You need 2 witnesses and a notary who have to be in the room with you when you sign them.
Yeah, but who cares? Try to ask him a question.
Well, you know, that's what I always say.
Good point, Mark.
The point is, those forms will not ask you questions that need to be asked, and you're only going to get that from going to an attorney, and obviously that's in my benefit, but it's true.
Okay. And if we have old wills, how do we get that lawyer to get rid of those old wills?
How do you supersede a will? Good question. How do you do it?
Every will should start out by saying that this will supersedes and revokes every other will before it. So you don't really have to shred the old will, even though I always tell clients to do so.
Is there a date usually?
Yeah, it's based on date, last in time. So that's, if you can't find the old one, don't worry about it. You've got a new one. Once it's dated, that becomes the valid will for you going forward.
David, have you ever had a client or clients that had 2 wills that were different with the same dates? I mean, have you ever ran into that?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay, I just didn't know how it worked in the state of Colorado. So
yeah, and there's, you know, this is such an important document, and it doesn't cost a lot of money. I don't know why people bother trying to save a dime and not just, you know, just go to an attorney and get it done.
Carol, do you have children?
They're adult children. Actually, we have grandchildren and a great-grandchild.
Okay, let me ask you this. In that form, does it address what happens if one of your children predeceases you? Do you want their share to go to their children who are your grandchildren?
Actually, we were going to leave our money to our grandchildren and our great-grandchildren, not our children.
Okay. Well, are you going to leave it in trust for them once you die? See, the form won't ask you that, and if they're under 18, you can't leave that property directly to them, which means if that's what you're going to do for any of your grandchildren who are minors, that is going to have to stay in trust after your death for some period of time. And again, the forms aren't going to ask you those questions.
Okay, I kind of thought that we need to get a lawyer. We live in Colorado Springs, so we need to get a lawyer here, I guess.
Well, no, you don't. I mean, anyone here in Colorado, an attorney licensed in the state can help you.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a big deal. I mean, you can get one there, but, you know, it's not like you make trips to that attorney over and over and over again. So it's really what you want to do. I mean, you know, there's a certain convenience factor if you have an ongoing litigation, but with something like this, it doesn't much matter where you go. I mean, that's really up to you. I mean, so you don't have to be in other words, you don't have to be in the county. The state, I would insist on being in the state where it's being done. But, you know, other than that, it's not a big deal. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. I would love to get the Jim Ross on the phone. This scumbag's been ripping people off a lot, and if we do have a number, or she has a number, let's give him a call or try to find one. Oh, she's calling right now. Then Steve the Painter, one of our referral list members, has a comment on the body shop. We'll take that and more coming up.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. If you want excellence in roofing, Excel Roofing. They don't hand you a blank contract and expect you to sign over the entire insurance check. They want you to know exactly what's wrong with your roof. So they'll get up there and inspect it, free of charge, and without you signing anything. Then you'll know where you stand when the adjuster comes. And Excel can even help you negotiate with the adjuster if you need to. And when you do sign a contract with Excel Roofing, they don't even make you pay a penalty clause if you change your mind. That's because they're confident they can keep you happy. But remember, you don't pay a penny until you're happy. They don't do any of those tricks. What they do is they'll help you assess the damage on your roof free of charge and with no obligation. They'll write up a full detailed contract. They will fight for you for that claim. They will help you through the claim. They will ask for not a dime until the entire job is done. That's the way it's done. 303-761-6400. 761-6400. ExcelRoofing.com. Your opinion,
How many you got so
teacher,
far?
coach, a mentor, or all of the above. That means you know things. In fact, you know about a lot of things, including things like marijuana. Because whether you've never used it, used to use it, still use it, or never inhaled, you know things. So what things are you telling your kids? Because even if they're not hearing things from you about marijuana, they're still hearing things. But of all the voices saying all the things, yours can be the one that matters most. Because you're a parent, a teacher, a coach, a mentor, or all of the above. And
Let's
your kids
see.
should know it starts with you saying something. Get tools and tips at goodtoknowcolorado.com. Hello, I'm Tom Martino with President from Ideal Home.
I'd say
And we have some great news.
no, this is just half. I'm going to say 50 to 60 people so far, maybe a little more.
Whatever you have remaining today, we can give you a new loan for that same period of time, but let you take advantage of lower interest rates and lower payments while still paying your house off as scheduled originally.
But what if the rates go down even further?
Because some people are bringing
You can cash in on our interest rate guarantee. If rates go down 0.75% or more within 2 years of doing a home loan with us, we'll refinance your existing mortgage with no lender fees, so you can secure a lower interest rate and a lower monthly payment.
Call now, 303-867-7000 or idealhomeloans.com.
Ideal Home Loans is regulated by the Division of Real Estate. MLS number 136756. Call 303-867-7000. Example based on $250,000 loan amount, 32% DTI, 40 credit score, occupied financing, 80% loan to value.
Ideal Home Loans for your next ideal home loan.
For most with knee arthritis, finding the correct treatment with an acceptable outcome.
What are you trying to figure out on that?
I'm just trying.
Dynamic
No, a
contraption.
lot of times when I am in the helicopter, I can't get to know this thing. And I updated all the software, and then there's a lot of things that bother me that I don't know how to do when I'm in the helicopter. I can't be flying and figuring it out.
What is it basically, a GPS?
it's everything I want to be. Oh no, it's got everything in it. Oh yeah, but it's GPS. It's a moving map, but it also has my instruments on there and everything. It reads all the sensors on the helicopter. But here's the thing: a very simple thing like canceling. Just canceling the flight plan. I don't know how to do it. Once I get it in there, I don't know how to cancel it.
And like do another one?
You have to do an, or yeah, but I don't know how to just get a blank map, and it's the weirdest thing in the world. I don't know how to just cancel the flight plan. There is no tool, which is it's amazing to me that once you put in a flight plan, you just can't hit the menu and cancel it. There is no canceling.
What's it called, the program?
This is called, it's Garmin's Pilot. It's a great program, Mark. Mark, this takes the place of $25,000 in avionics with everything it does. But you can't simply cancel the flight. There's no place to do it.
I haven't found a reliable contractor and have no idea
I'm just
where
trying to figure out, just cancel. That's all I want to do is cancel a flight.
They match you to pre-screened and top-rated pros for any kind of home project. You can get your pricing and have appointments online.
What's the catch?
If you, Michael stays away, financially, everything we've got 7 kids divided by.
There, hold on. You have to make believe you're entering.
What do you see as the best way to drive?
That's what I did. I just went to enter a new plan, and then just keep it like there. But don't you think it would be easier than that? You have to go to your flight plan. So I put in a flight plan right there. Like, I went to that guy's house last night, so I put in, I add a flight plan. Go to George's house, right? That's George's house. I'll way up north. Now, that's going to show up on my map.
I mean, is there a fair way? I mean,
It's going to show up on the map, show me how to get there. This is where I flew to this guy's house. Oh my God. You got to come and tell you that. So now, I got to go here to cancel that. I got to go to flight plan. Then I got to make believe I'm going to type in here.
One girl. You know, your mother might say, well, I want my diamond, my wedding ring to go to her. You know,
so now I got a way to cancel it.
And he says, well, you know,
hey, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show. 303-713 Talk. 303-713-8255. Welcome. How is your life going, and how can we help you? Yes,
Tom,
Suzanne.
I spoke with Jim Ross.
Wait. You spoke to him?
Yes, I did.
What did you say to him? That we've been after him for years?
Yeah, I mean,
he knows that.
Oh, yeah, he knows us. He had no comment when it came to Janine and just said she's being paid back, and that was it.
Yeah, sure. Just like everyone. Lying scumbag. But you got his phone number then?
Yeah, he answered it.
Good.
Yeah, he was pleasant.
Ask him if he would come on the air to talk in general about why he collects money and doesn't complete jobs.
Okay, Tom.
Yeah, seriously. I would like to ask him if he's having financial trouble, if he simply likes cheating people. What is his story?
Has he turned the other cheek?
No, I want to know what his story is, Mark. How can somebody just blatantly take money? Do you remember, what was the guy's name we chased all over? Jeremy, somebody, Lopez? Jay Lopez.
Jay Lopez.
He's on our Sleaze Brigade. That guy would literally just go out, take money, and never show up. He was in business to rip people off. And he still was, right, until you got him arrested.
A couple times. I don't know what he's doing now.
Well, he's not going to turn honest all of a sudden. Now, let's talk to Steve, the painter, who's actually Star Quality Painting. He has a comment on the body shop. Which one? Oh, the drill and fill. The guy said he paid $3,500. He didn't like the repair. The body shop guy said, look, you didn't want it replaced. I tried to save you money, and it came to bite me in the butt. So what do you have to say about it?
I'd have to go with the body shop guy. Just listen and turn on the radio.
Why is that?
Just the way he was talking. He was real precise. He told the fellow what he was going to charge him. And now that he's all done, now the guy that owns the car is bickering. And I'd have to go with the body shop. Just to hear him on the radio, listen to him.
Yeah, Kalen Eccles sounded pretty good the first time he was on.
Yeah, just my gut feeling.
Yeah, Mark doesn't necessarily always go by smooth, but, and I don't think that's what Steve was saying. Steve's saying he was very precise. Did you think Kalen Eccles was precise? He didn't sound good, Mark.
No, the first time he came on, I'm going to make it better, there's another side of the story, and then all hell broke loose.
Yeah, I didn't feel at all like Eccles was trying to be the good guy ever. He always came off as a jerk.
Then a couple times he tried to make amends for things, but he's a bad dude when it comes to business. I don't know how he is personally, but well, actually, I kind of do. He was hitting on that woman or claiming she was hitting on him. It was a disgusting thing. The man ought to just move away. He's begging us to.
He said, what does it take to get us off the Sleeves Brigade? So we pulled Colorado courts on him. He's already got more lawsuits going on right now for bad work just in the last month.
Mary has a question for David Salisbury. Go ahead, Mary. Mary?
Mary, hi.
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 What's happening?
You have a probate attorney there,
yes,
right?
let's ask. You can ask anything you want, dear.
Okay, I am an heir to an estate in Kansas City, Missouri. The lady died. She was 98. She died in 2015.
Lots of money?
November the 7th, yes. And I have not heard from the attorney. I finally got his name and called him. He says because of the size of the estate, it is in probate. How long does it take to settle an estate?
Well, generally, Mary, it shouldn't take more than a year. However,
in my opinion, though.
However, if it's a very large estate or it is a complicated estate, for example, the person owned the business and they got to sell the business, they have to liquidate the business. He owned property, the person owned property in another state. What I would tell you to do, and you're welcome to call me, is get yourself an attorney in Kansas City. And if you want to call me off air, I will find somebody there or get you 2 or 3 names that you can call, and it may be you'll get a better response, sadly, lawyer to lawyer, than you just calling.
Well, now, she had a home, and I talked to the niece. All the years, 30 years that she spoke with me, the niece told me, when I pass away, you call this niece of mine. Well, I called her, and she says, Mary, I was only responsible for the sale of the house and all of its contents. And that house sold for over $250,000, but all of that money went to the Shriners Hospital.
Well, that could be. Have you got a copy of the will?
I do not. Can I get a copy of the will?
You could request a copy. If you are, in fact, the beneficiary, you should be able to get a copy of the will from the attorney. Again, if he's going to communicate with you and he's going to be responsive, and if he's not, you need to get yourself a lawyer there.
Okay, after a year and a half, I did talk to him, and he told me that it is in probate, and as soon as the probate has been completed, then the distribution will happen.
Okay, but you know what, Mary, you know what the will might say, because I do these that way too, where the deceased might have had in the will that the sale of my house, the proceeds from the sale of my house, go to the Shriners and the rest is divided in some other manner. So it could be that that's why that money has gone to the Shriners, but until you look at the will, you're not going to know.
Hey, how do people leave stuff to, like, cats and dogs?
Well, actually, you put it in the will, and generally you leave a sum of money, whatever you think is reasonable for the care of the animal going forward.
No, I mean, you hear about some nutcases that leave everything to their cat.
No, I've never had that.
It's not real.
But I do have a lot of people, you know, it's Colorado. We all have pets. We all have multiple dogs. And they don't want those dogs to go to a shelter. They want those dogs. You talk to someone, would you take my pet? You know, and I'm going to leave you enough money for the care for the dog for some period of time.
But you can't leave an estate to an animal.
Not an estate. You could leave the money in trust for the care of the animal.
Okay, this has not been the case. This little lady was 98 years old. Everything was paid for. She was extremely wealthy, and the attorney is the person that distributes all the money.
Well, the attorney must be the personal representative, or the more common term, executor. Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
But because of the size of her family, there were 6 sisters, and they needed to make sure that nobody came back and is challenging this will. But I'm asking, what is it, length of time does it normally take? Is there a limit that has to be cut off?
And the answer is really no. As long as there's activity in the probate, meaning things are being filed or things are being done, it can stay open indefinitely. If there's no activity for some period of time, here it's 3 years, the court will just close the probate. You could also try calling, if this attorney won't give you a copy of the will, you could also try calling the court that's handling the probate and asking them if they would send you a copy of the will. Probably not, but your first avenue is to go to the lawyer and say, you can look at the will, is my name in it? If my name's in it, please send me a copy so I'll know what it says.
Yeah, I know my name is in it because they've asked me for my address 2 or 3 times.
Okay.
I know my name is in there, and she asked me to follow through with this. But it's, like I said, it's going on 2 years, November the 7th. And I needed to know when should I get a little bit insistent.
Oh, I would do that now. I would do that now. Especially, and again, I'm a lawyer, so I'm not going to bash lawyers, but as long as that estate is open and he's the personal representative, then the likelihood is that he's being paid fees, and I'm not suggesting he's doing something improper. At the same time, you need to know what money's being spent.
Okay. I thank you very much.
All right.
Welcome, Mary.
All right, thank you. 303-713-TALK. So, here's the bottom line. How much power do you have as an heir? I mean, really, you don't have power just because you're an heir.
No, you don't. And actually, the attorney doesn't legally have to speak to any of the heirs because they don't represent the heirs. They represent the personal representative and the estate. And I've had clients who told me, or the personal representatives, don't talk to the beneficiaries because they will drive you crazy and they're going to drive up the fee. So, that he's talking to her, he could just say, I am not authorized to speak to you. So I'm glad he's at least being somewhat responsive.
303-713-8255. We got a lot to talk about. Stick around.
Freehand.
What about it?
Hit freehand.
Well, what about it, though? I know. What is freehand, though? Freehand is just what I'm doing.
That's what I'm saying. If you're in a route and then just hit freehand, doesn't that bring you up to your just freehand? You're just flying.
No, but I have found a way to cancel it. You have to go in and just enter a blank flight plan. It's really stupid, but yeah.
Couple of crashes to watch out for. Westbound I-70.
Well, I have found a way to do that.
That's got traffic backed up to 74th. A wreck westbound I-70 at Peoria. That's got traffic clogged all the way past Chambers.
So you can't leave anything to a cat?
Not directly. What are you going to do? Have a cat go to the bank and open up? Open up a bank account.
I want unlimited catnip.
Now, you can do an X on a will if you're not capable of writing or whatever, so maybe you could use a paw print for the cat in order to get the benefits you're looking for.
Man, I've seen too many movies. I know I've seen cats get left money before.
Natural stone and other solid surface countertops. You can see them all at their beautiful showroom.
Well, too bad you can hear us, but I'd say something else.
It's not one phone call, 303-386-5990.
Hey, David, since they're not teaching cursive anymore at school, what are people going to do for signatures?
I don't know. My son's signature is horrible. And of course, we were taught they're not teaching that anymore. And it's fine if you have a keyboard in front of you, you can do anything you want. Hey, how about the computers? You can't use a computer. What are you how are you going to communicate with people? No one's ever written a letter, like a thank you letter to the grandparents? No. That's why they say, like 100,000 years from now, we're just going to be these gigantic heads with these little useless little hands and fingers because you'll be able to tell the computer,
Affordable interest mortgage. Whether you're refinancing
Well, you'll be a
or your new home, we have new loan programs that allow you.
These self-driving cars, I'm telling you, it's 3 years tops.
You mean you think it's going to be a regular thing?
Oh yeah, 3 years. I'll be able to go buy one and drive it. not drive.
Come on, totally stoked.
You thought the Arctic
Can you
ice
sit
was
in the
gonna
back
be-
seat, like lay down in the back seat and just chill?
No, Mark, do you think there'll be that
Yep, 3 years.
on our roads? I don't think so. I think that's
3 years.
years.
It's way quicker than people think. Way quicker. You know what I started?
Let me ask you this.
What are
What do the
communities?
insurance companies
What,
say?
what is Castle Rock going to do when there's zero speeding anymore? What are they going to do? How about any small county? How are they going to pay for anybody? Because there's going to be no speeding. The cars aren't going to speed. They will follow the speed limit. They won't get into accidents.
The only thing override.
Seriously, what are the insurance companies saying about it?
Oh, they're going to be cheap as hell. Insurance companies are going to love it. They're going to love it. If you have an autonomous vehicle,
And they'll know exactly where you go, too.
doesn't matter who you are. That's right. They'll know exactly, but they're not going to care.
And they'll know if you tried to speed, if you know.
I don't think you'll be able to overwrite shit. I mean, there's always going to be hackers, but I don't think in general.
But look at how many cars are on the road right now that don't have it.
What do you mean?
Well, you can adapt all the cars that are on the road now.
No, you don't have to adapt them. They're high-risk drivers.
So many people call me when they're in.
You don't have to,
They say, Tom,
no.
who should I call? And I say, John.
They can
Fuller.
still cause accidents.
John Fuller has seen all kinds of
So you're saying
cases
that
on personal injury, and he
cars
gives
will
you an
have
honest assessment of that case. Personal
I'm telling
injury,
you,
fool around
3
with
years
those
you'll be able to buy a vehicle that drives you wherever the hell you want.
People always try to make you feel greedy or not entitled.
In fact, I'm convinced they're out there right now.
If it's someone else's
Well,
problem,
They're doing them, and they're...
No, but those are small communities. I'm talking like, there's cars right now that could drive around in Denver with no problem.
I don't like being in traffic, but
will tell you and fight
there's
for you. 303
driving can be enjoyable.
Shit, I'd much rather have a robot driving.
Especially if you do read a book or something. I mean, you're right. There are times.
Watch a
where it's,
movie.
Problems as a result. His website, John R.
But I just go, how are they going to make,
John R. Fuller.
it's just going to change everything. Fast food is almost to the point where it's going to be all kiosks.
Just like the trucking industry. It's going to put a whole industry out.
Oh, truckers, forget about it.
Mark,
College students are
synthetic
demanding
vision.
spaces. The greatest
You
generation
can fly.
is growing rapidly. This
And
new
that
world
really
is
reflects
to give
outside.
their lives and
When I'm out
continue
flying,
as a
it'll
real
show me
place.
hills and stuff when it's
Again,
cloudy.
Tuesday.
And it'll show coming into a runway. It's all synthetic. Yeah, but it's real synthetic. I mean, it really shows.
Yeah, it takes it and creates it.
Hi, Tom Martino. Welcome. 303-713-TALK. 303-713-8255. What an old song, Mississippi Queen. Wow. Do you know who originally did this, right? Mountain. Yeah. Leslie West. 303-713-TALK. 303-713-8255. Okay, folks. David Salisbury's here. We have had a lot of questions for him, but you can call about anything you want, okay? Jim, what did you want to say about or ask about your estate? Go ahead, sir.
Tom, what I'm calling about in regards to an estate, I have a will that's very specific.
Yes.
That leaves everything to my wife, but it suddenly dawned on me that we travel some, and if, God forbid, something would happen to both of us at the same time, I would like for my son to be able to access, say, bank accounts, 401ks, home equity, that type of thing, and then distribute it to his siblings.
Well, Jim, are you talking about if you and your spouse die together, or are you talking about if you're injured?
No. Say if we were specifically killed in an automobile accident driving somewhere, and both of us, what do I need to do to have him be able to, for example, get in my condo, take the equity, sell the condo, the bank accounts, so forth and so on?
Well, who do you have down as the personal representative? Just your spouse, and she has you down?
Correct.
Well, you need to change the will so at least you name him as a successor or an alternate personal representative. But the other question is, you're not making mention of what happens if you both die together. Does the property go to the kids? Does it go to the kids or their kids if one of your kids predeceased you? I mean, it'd be pretty simple to change that will or get a new one and address those issues.
Okay, well, what I would like for my son to do, and he would be able to do this, would be to access, say, my bank account withdraw the money out of that and distribute it amongst his siblings.
Well, he has to be the personal representative then.
Okay.
So that's all you got to do. If that's all you really want to do, I mean, you're going to need to change the will and add him on as the successor personal representative should your wife either physically can't handle it or she's deceased as well.
Okay. All right. And, of course, you handle that through your office?
Yes.
Yes, sir, I do.
Here it is. It's 720-493-3911. And I'll be giving that out again throughout the show. Wendy and Rick, a problem with a siding company. What is going on?
Go ahead, Wendy, tell us. Well, a guy came by, and he talked me into getting this siding. Unfortunately, they wanted to charge me $23,000 for the siding job, and I've talked to a friend who's here with me.
Now, wait a minute. So you just needed siding, right? What's on your house now?
Wood. Yeah, just plain wood.
Okay, and you want what kind of siding?
A vinyl siding.
Vinyl siding, and you got a quote for $23,000.
For 11 squares, Tom.
Where did you get this this bid?
He came to the house.
Who is it? What company?
Power Home Remodeling.
Okay. So what is your question to us? I mean, in other words, first of all, if I was having siding done, I would definitely look on my referral list, okay? I would at least look there. I'm not saying you have to pick someone there, but I don't know why you would not.
He didn't know about you, Tom.
Okay. Well, now you do, so let's talk about it. What is your question on this one?
How do I get out of this thing?
Oh, wait a minute. You signed it?
I did.
Oh, my God. When did you sign it?
It was let me get a calendar. I believe it was like April 12th or something like that.
That's unconscionable. Oh, my gosh. So $28,000 divided by, huh?
$23,000 divided. It's like 11 squares. It was like over 2,000 square. I've never seen anybody get rid of it.
Divided by 11 squares.
Uh-huh.
And you're talking about, oh, my goodness, this is crazy, over $2,000 a square.
It's the worst ripoff I've ever seen, and they said they'll do her gutter and her fascia, which is really minimal.
No. Listen, I would take the consequences. I would just refuse to honor the contract. Did you give him any money?
No, and that's what I told her.
Have him take you to court. I mean, I would go through the agony before I ever submitted to this. Now,
that's what I told her.
In an in-home sale, they're supposed to give you a 3-day right to rescind.
Right, they did.
God.
They did. Yeah, they did. And she just didn't know. When I saw it, I was like, oh, my God, we got to do something here. Because it's literally, it's the worst one I've ever seen, Tom. It's the worst. You know, it's just so predatory.
Now, what is your relationship here?
We're friends.
Okay,
We're friends.
okay. So it's her home?
Yes, sir.
Okay. It is so bad. So bad. $28,000? Can you send us that contract? We'll call this company. Listen.
Yes, I figured you would.
If they feel like they're going to enforce this, that'd be ridiculous. Now, they have a right to probably,
sure.
But there are some things I call unconscionable.
Yes.
And this is one of them. And I would definitely write a letter saying, I am hereby canceling this contract. I'll take the consequences. Do not come to my home. Do not try to enforce it.
Okay.
And then listen, hold on, do not hang up. Suzanne, get this contract. I have to see this to believe it. Okay, we have another hour to go. Stick around, folks, and you can call in right now.
Hey, it's Ross Kaminsky here for my friends at American Financing.
My God.
Or in the market to buy a home. Wow. Did you know rental rates are at all-time highs? If you rent it, you're throwing away money that you could be investing in your own
salesman, man.
American Financing has helped their customers get into homes for less money.
What is this photograph of the wrecked car? What is this?
Their down payment programs, which can possibly get you into a home.
We got a before, we didn't get an after. Okay. Who sent us the photo?
We can get you a pre-qualification letter within 24 hours, which makes your offer on a home much stronger, and you'll know what you can qualify for right up front. Invest in your future by becoming a property owner and build equity for yourself, not someone else. Their salary-based mortgage consultants will customize a loan program to fit your needs. Call American Financing today, 303-695-7000. That's 303-695-7000, or online at AmericanFinancing.net.
NMLS 182334, regulated by the Division of Real Estate.
This is Denver's talk station. More with Martino after the news on 630 KHOW, an iHeart radio station. KHOW, Denver.
News Radio.
Pardon me, Tom. Mark said to tell you you had to leave.
Why?
Well, they were only giving him an hour's notice for a big dump thing to be picked up, and he got the call. But I think he's afraid it's going to be a problem because we have it over full. Trying to figure out. Let's see
Ariana
here.
Grande is returning to England on Sunday to play a benefit concert for the victims of the
There's just two pictures of before and after, right?
Grande and the British Red Cross confirmed on Twitter the
Yeah, that's the before, but there's like 8 pictures on the after. Did you get them yet?
Yep. I just wanted to make sure.
Log out.
Terror attack killed dozens more after
There's a guy that said he was blocked on Facebook.
He probably was.
Okay, but
What's his name?
Yeah, but I don't want to block people unless we talk about it. This all he said was he made an innocent comment. He says Mark has the worst voice. Cannot wait for Tom to get back.
Okay, you'll have to ask Mark about that because I think.
I don't have to ask Mark about.
No, I mean about why he blocked him. But I think
if
what
somebody
it was.
hates my voice or hate, the only thing I don't want is hateful personal attacks. I don't want that.
Well, and I think that was one of like 7 or 8, and Mark got fed up. I'm not defending it, Tom. I just would ask him why he did it.
If that's the case, that might be different. But if somebody just, I don't care if somebody criticizes us. I don't want people getting personal and hateful. I won't allow it or vulgar.
Delivery day for actor George Clooney and his wife Alon. They're expecting twins, and the rumored due date is June. Clooney was a no-show for a charity event.
Do you know the guy's name? Do you want me to just unblock him?
He's going to give me. I asked for his username because I just have his name, Jack.
You know what? I bet you can look at the list of people blocked.
I mean, there were some we definitely blocked. They were hateful.
This report is brought to you by Farmers Insurance.
Are you looking at it?
I wasn't looking at it. I'm making sure
I'll
all
look
his
at
history.
it. But I don't care about it. It's not that serious. It's just that.
Who sent the photos, Suzanne?
I sent them from there. They are. Those are the.
No. Who sent them?
The caller.
I wish he would have taken the same picture. Boom, boom. It doesn't look that bad.
It doesn't look that bad, Tom. You got them too. They don't look bad.
And it's all over the place.
And I'm trying to get a hold of him again.
Nothing is more important than your health. I'm Donnie, owner of Fitness Gallery, where we sell the world's finest fitness equipment. Going on now at our 10.
There's no doubt, looking at the before, it should have been replaced.
Ellipticals and stationary bikes carry the industry's best warranty. 10 years on all parts, 30 years on motors. And our Tough Stuff strength equipment, 46 years in manufacturing, a lifetime warranty on all parts. 2 convenient locations, north off of I-25 and 58th Ave, 1 block south of the Grizzly Rose, and south at University and C470, or fitnessgallery.com.
This is the Troubleshooter Show.
I need somebody.
Now, Tom Martino on 630 KHOW.
Help me if you can, I'm feeling down. And I do appreciate you being around.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK. 303-713-8255. Here to help you solve problems, to answer questions, to take complaints, and to make your life a little easier, as we've been doing for 40 years. And we will prevail over liars, cheats, and ripoffs with your help. Just tell everyone about the show so you can save people the pain and misery. Wendy and Rick said they didn't know about me in the referral list, and they went out and hired a guy, $28,000 for siding on their home. $28,000 for 11 square of siding? Well, excuse me, Wendy hired. Rick is just a friend. Wendy hired. Wendy had a 3-day right to rescind in her home. They gave it to her. She let that pass. She didn't know how badly she was ripped off. I say, go ahead. Go ahead and cancel and take the consequences. I would rather have someone try to sue me for performance on that contract, because I could contend there is no loss. If they have it set up and did not order specifically for that house, I'd like them to try to make an argument that they have a loss. This is Power, did she say? Power Home Improvements? We're getting a copy of that contract, right? Thank you, Suzanne. Well, we have David Salisbury with us, attorney at law, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. He does probate, estate planning, wills, trusts, and everything related. Let's go to the phones with your problems, questions, and complaints. Wendy and Rick, we are investigating this, and I want to get a copy of that contract. It is hard for me to believe that somebody would charge you $28,000. Are you sure it's just for the siding alone, Wendy?
Yes, and Tom, they said...
And this is Rick. Go ahead.
Garage.
What's that?
She's got a small garage, and they go, we'll do the garage for another $14,000. I was floored. I've never seen anything like it in my life. It was total predatory.
We're talking about ordinary vinyl siding.
Yeah, and his remark was, oh, it's got the, the backing already adhered to it. It's the best in the market. Only we make it, which I know is a bunch of crap. They just got their name put on it, and it's probably made here in Denver, as far as I know. It might not be.
Can we get someone on, like Mark Szymanski? Can we get him on the line? I want to ask him about siding. Hold on.
Yes. Okay. And they also said that, they're exclusive through Sam's Club. They use that as a lead to get in, to get her going. Which really bothers me.
Listen, she needs to call them and cancel immediately.
Right.
And when they say you can't do that, say, look, I do not give you permission to work in my home. I am hereby canceling. Put it in writing as well, right, David? You were going to say that?
Yeah, put it in writing.
And then if they threaten, say, I'll take the consequences, okay? I'll take the consequences because I believe this contract was unconscionable.
Right. Okay.
And I will make more trouble than it's worth for you.
That's what I told her. And Tom, and then they came out and said she could get out of the contract. Last week, the guy came out, and then instead of letting her out of the contract, he started talking about arbitration, kind of screwing her over and how it was going to cost her and how this is a special siding and it was special ordered, which is, we know that's not true.
Make sure she puts that in writing.
Then they knocked off $8,000 and knocked it down to like $15,800, which is still way too high. And I told her, you really need to talk to Tom. I've been telling her for about 4 days.
Thank you.
So we finally did it today.
All right, you hold on. I need to get the copy of the contract. Let's talk to Howard. Howard, you sent some pictures from the auto body. You had called earlier, and you complained about the auto body shop. Now, I see the wreck. I didn't see the other photos yet. I don't see the before and after, so I can't. There's no way for me to know.
I sent you, Tom. I sent you all the befores and afters.
Okay, I didn't get them yet. So,
okay.
Suzanne, I need to get the after pictures. I do not have them.
You still didn't? Okay, I'll
No.
resend.
Nope, just the before pictures. And here's the deal. He claims he went to a body shop, Lee's Discount Auto Collision in Castle Rock, and he paid $3,500, and he's pissed off because he thinks it's a poor job. Now, Lee said, look, I tried to save the guy money. The guy wasn't willing to replace the part, and he would only pay a certain amount. I tried to do everything within his budget. It would have cost another $1,800 to $2,000 to replace the part. Lee says he was never given that choice. So, I mean, what do you say? So I'm going to look at the pictures when I get them, and we'll see. 303-713-8255. Right now, I have open lines. You can get right through if you need to talk to David Salisbury about your estate, or you just want to talk to me about any problem you have. Something, though, I'd like to ask, and I wanted to do this at the beginning of the show because we were coming off a holiday weekend. What do you do to unwind? And I mean passionately unwind. Do you have something you love doing? Do you love scuba diving? Do you love skydiving? Do you love rock climbing? Do you love cycling? Do you love camping? Do you love swimming? Do you love four-wheeling? Do you love boating? I love to find out what people do. In Colorado, you can do almost anything because we have everything. And I always wonder what people do. Then some people tell me they do nothing, and I don't understand what that means. Now, I'm not saying you have to be fervent into something and crazy and just everywhere you go, that's all you talk about. But many people make their entire lifestyle around what they do to unwind. And I'm curious what my audience does and what you do, and perhaps you have something very unique. What do you do to unwind? When I ask people that and they don't have an answer and they go, I don't know. I mean, I guess I just relax, or I feel sorry. I feel like, uh-oh, what happened? Rick says he's an expert on vinyl siding. Rick, now I don't know you, but I'll take your word for it. She has about 11 squares of siding on her home, and they're charging her $28,000 for vinyl siding. What do you think of that?
And with a big company, it shouldn't cost you no more than about 11.
11,000. So how much? Yep. You're talking about $1,000?
That would be the top.
That's the top of the line, $1,000 a square.
Yep, that's top of the line. That's foam back siding. And Powers, you know, I've heard of them. They're a major company. They're a big company, but they're pretty new to the Denver market.
Do they allow their salespeople to do whatever they want as far as pricing?
Evidently, you know, from what I've heard so far.
Would you say $28,000 would be outrageous for that?
Outrageous.
Me too. Outrageous.
Yep. Yep. Outrageous.
And you're saying even at $1,000, that's really high.
That's, yeah, for a major company, that's about right for that type of siding, though.
About 1,000.
Yeah.
What do you think Champion would be?
Probably right around there.
Right around 1,000?
Yep.
And I want to ask one of our guys. I mean, Champion is on our referral list. I would also like to ask Genesis if he's around. But, you know, but thank you, Rick. Carolyn's got an estate planning question for David Salisbury. Go ahead, Carolyn.
Hi. You know, my husband and I were talking about, you know, doing a will ourselves to leave everything to our 2 children. Do we do just one will, and if one dies before the other, you know, we have to wait for the second one to die till they get everything? How does that work? Or we do 2 separate ones and wait for the first
Good
one
question.
to die?
He gets this all the time, this question.
You need 2 wills.
Okay.
You could die simultaneously, for example, and then what happens? But you both need a will.
Okay.
And that is standard procedure.
Okay. So, like, if my will said, you know, I want, you know, the house, the car, all the money, all the everything to go to my 2 children, but my husband's still alive, that will not give them everything until he's gone.
No. If that's what your will says, that's what goes. Now, keep in mind, a spouse, if you've been married a certain period of time, you can't disinherit a spouse. If they wanted to, they could petition the court for what's called their spousal share, meaning they get a certain percentage of your estate even though you left them out of your will.
Okay.
So what do you think?
Well, we'll do the 2 wills, and it will just specify that, you know, until both of us are gone, they don't get everything.
Right. So basically your will would say, I'm leaving everything to him. His will will say, I'm leaving anything to her. And then only in the event that you're both gone, now it goes to the kids.
Okay. Now, and then just with that will they have access to, you know, the house, the bank accounts, all of that by just presenting the will?
No. In fact, you're going to need to name somebody as the personal representative, or in this case, the successor, because you'd be the personal representative for him, he'd be the personal representative for you.
Right.
Only event that you're both gone, you can name one of your kids. Now, that person becomes the personal representative. However, they are not legally the personal representative until they've opened the probate with the court. Then, unless there's some kind of disagreement among your kids, if that's the person you've named in the will, that's the person who will become the personal representative.
So would it be better to get an outside person rather than one of the kids? I mean, they'd never take anything from either or.
Well, the problem with that is, if you think there's going to be some problems, I certainly wouldn't want to be the person you pick, and also I would just, if you can pick one of the kids, that would work. If you hire a bank or someone like that, they're going to take some big fees.
For sure. Okay, so one of the kids. I mean, they're both honest and close, and I would have no problem with one of them being the
And you could make them co-personal representatives if you know that they would get along in handling it.
Oh, okay, that's it exactly.
Well, thank you for calling. Hope we helped. 303-713-8255. We have lines open now. This this body work, Howard. Okay, I don't understand something. The wreck you showed me is on the left side, but you showed me after pictures of the right side in some of the photos. Why did you show me the right side?
Because I sent you a comparison to see what it should look like.
Oh, okay.
Compared
Well,
to what he did.
what he did does not, from the photos, I mean, I can see what you're concerned about, the reveals and stuff do not look perfect for sure. But for the damage you had, it looks damn good, especially if you didn't replace anything. But are you saying had he said it was going to be an extra $2,000, you would have paid it to get the quarter panel replaced?
Of course, like you know, the thing
Why
about
did
it-
he get the impression you didn't want to spend the money, so he gave you the best he could for a lower price?
I'll tell you, Tom, because he's a con man.
Well, he doesn't sound like one, but maybe that's because he is so good. Who knows?
Yeah, yeah. I've been in business all my life, Tom. I've never had this happen to me, ever at auto collision. And the car should have came back, you know, to the specs of what the car should look like.
Why didn't you just tell him? When I take a car to a body shop, I absolutely say, this is what I say. I say, make sure you use parts, new parts, factory authorized, factory parts, OEM, you know, original equipment manufacturer. And I say, and so why did you mention that? Did you say make sure you replace stuff, or did you assume he would do it?
I just assumed he would do it. I mean, I spoke to him. He said he's going to put a new bumper on, which he didn't. To the best of my knowledge, he didn't.
Well, what is the? I got to see the contract. Did you send that along with everything else?
I did not send it with everything else, Tom.
I would like to see what the contract says, really. Is it a violation of the contract or not? And is it against industry standards? We'd have to see it for sure. This is a tough one. This is a tough one. Suzanne, I'd like to arrange for him to come in on car day or something with the contract. That would be good. 303-713-TALK. Approval Reverse Mortgage. If you're looking for a reverse mortgage, it's the only company I trust. Approval Reverse. That's Joan Sullivan and her team. Why do I say that? Because reverse mortgages are very special animals. And they live off the equity. And you don't pay it back. But you may not have as much equity to leave to your heirs. If you're 62 or older, please call them first. ApprovalReverse.com, 303-771-3528. Speaking of mortgages, there's a company that I recommend to everyone when we're talking about regular mortgages. And they have a program to fit almost anyone. And right now, rates are great. But they have the interest rate guarantee anyway, which Brent can explain to you. Brent Ivinson, Ideal Home Loans. Brent, what's going on with rates?
Well, Tom, you know, rates have drifted down. We're at 3.875% on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage. And I know kind of the natural tendency is, okay, I'm going to wait for them to go lower. And this is why we have our interest rate guarantee in place. If it makes sense for you right now, take advantage of interest rates at their current levels. Take that savings, start putting it in your pocket, because if rates go down by 0.75% or more within 2 years of doing a home loan with us, we will refinance your existing mortgage with no lender fees, so you can take advantage of falling interest rates and secure a lower monthly mortgage payment.
And you can do that all at Ideal Home Loans. At IdealHomeLoans.com, 303-867-7000, 303-867-7000.
This report is brought to you by Farmers Insurance.
Let's start off with the good news. That earlier wreck northbound I-25
Aren't they a horrible company?
has cleared out of Beloit.
Yeah.
The bad news is that it hasn't helped
They're
back
off.
up, still backed up past Downing, so just watch out for delays. Also still that wreck being cleared westbound I-70 at Peoria. Big delays. Backups past Chambers.
Damn
Also
you
got
people.
Got it. Got it on.
I-76 and I-270.
You know what?
Up to 74th on
The finals start either Thursday night or Friday. I mean, you send some, you know, the NBA finals.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
When
you
is the
could send
Final
some.
Four with the colleges? Is that that was already? Yeah, that's March Madness there. That's what it is, March Madness. And I never watch it, never, ever, ever. And I know it gets people get rich. I just don't get excited about sports.
Yeah, not
I
football.
never
I like
have.
football.
People think that I lost my man card because of that.
Yeah, I got a lot of good friends.
When the Broncos are in the Super Bowl, it's fun.
Yeah.
I don't
But that's
watch,
an event.
or the Rockies that time they went to the World Series.
You do fantasy football, that'll get you hooked on football. And I know it's a lot, but it will get you hooked on football.
because I can't get hooked enough to even do that. I can't.
Well, I know, but if you do it,
Just because you've been
you've never done it, David?
No.
I swear it'll get you looking at the whole gamut. Because it's competition, right?
Yeah.
Among
Yeah.
your peers. And it's, I never thought I would.
That's way too much work for me.
If you don't
Let's
like
go
it.
sit in front of the TV, drink a beer, and watch a couple of games.
Well, see, I can
Although,
only
you know,
watch-
I can't sit through games anymore either. I can't sit through a whole game.
Well, I used to
get
only watch
bored.
the Broncos. And then when you got fantasy football, now you look at everything.
Who's going to be a quarterback?
Simeon. I agree. I think he's okay. I think he's better than average.
He's a veteran, right?
This would be his third year.
Third year.
Yeah, but second year, he never played at all the first year.
Well, no. So he's been here the whole career then.
Yes.
Oh no, who's the veteran they got?
They
I thought they drafted
got
someone.
No, they have, what's his name?
Chad Kelly from Mississippi.
Well, he's a rookie though.
Yeah.
But
I thought
they had, what's his name?
Somebody
from
who had
Newark?
been injured.
Mark.
Somebody who had been injured.
Oh, well, they had Mark Sanchez.
Sanchez,
Right.
wow.
Right. What happened there?
He sucks.
He never got to start anymore.
What?
And I think he went.
Hello? Yes. Are you talking to me?
More than 600,000 illegal sites where your information might be traded by thieves right now.
Sanchez
And the new guys, and one last year's Paxton
Always going to
Lynch,
talk to
who
the
was a
same
rookie.
agent too.
Why did he look very good in his games he was on?
$1 million.
I think Trevor Simeon's good.
I'm telling you something. I know he's had some problems.
Okay, guys, I got a spot.
/protect.
When I have an issue with plumbing, heating, cooling, electric, and drains, Plumbline Services. Plumbline, straightforward. That's what that stands for. Remember the plumb line to find dead center or level. Plumbline Services. And they are the only ones, or no, one of the few that have their own drain division. Literally, the equipment and the cameras and everything, their own drain division. They have 93 or free. That means if they cannot clear your drain for $93, no matter what's wrong, it's a free call. Now listen, here's the great part of it. Even if they can't drain, if they can't fix it for $93 and it's free, you also get a diagnostic. So no matter what, it's a valuable call. $93 to get it cleared, or you pay nothing. They also have a similar wonderful feature for electric. For $149, they will find, fix, or free any electrical problem. Let me explain that. That includes all the parts. So for $149, they can probably fix 85 to 90% of all electrical problems. If they can't, you'll still get a written report on exactly what's wrong, what it will cost, and you don't have to pay a dime just to get that. So for $149, it's find, fix, or free. Then they also have half off an air conditioner when you buy a furnace. Call for details. It includes all kinds of stuff like 0% financing for 12 months, 10 years parts and labor warranty. That's PlumbLineServices.com. Yes, your friend in hot weather, 303-586-1086, 303-586-1086.
New roof? Call Excel Roofing at 303.
This guy, Chad Kelly, he went to Mississippi.
Can you talk through the speakers when I don't have the headset on? Do you know how to do that?
And kids celebrate the summer. This is the place where
He's
the
big,
step
good arm. He just got in a whole
The
lot of trouble.
conversation.
But
Silver's Talk Station, 630.
I don't think he didn't beat anybody up. I don't know what he did.
We're not so heavy today, are we, Brutus? 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255.
What's going on? How do we help you? Let's go to the phones. That's how we help. I want to take people who have been waiting a while. Now, we're waiting on the siding, our expert.
Pardon me, Tom?
Yes.
Still trying to get a hold of the expert. I did forward you their contract, though,
Oh, you
via
did?
email just now.
Okay. Our email's a little laggy, so I'll wait for that, Suzanne. Oh, I got it. Okay. I'll go to her in a second. I want to talk to Kathy right now. Kathy, hi. How are you?
Hi, Tom.
What's going on?
I have a couple questions. I own a house, and I'm married. The house is only in my name. Now, if I divorce, is she entitled to half the house?
Okay, now, Kathy, how when were you married?
5 years ago.
5 years ago, and when you were married, did you own the home?
No, I bought it after we were married.
Well, then it becomes okay. If you let's do the scenario. If you had it before you were married, the house would be yours, and the only thing your spouse would be entitled to is the increase in value during the marriage. Not necessarily half, but it's called an equitable dividing, whatever the judge sees. But usually it's half. Now, if you have the house together, meaning you bought it while you're married, and you said she, right? She would own half of it.
Okay.
Now, Kathy, here's the deal. If you bought it with a special contract or agreement, that's different. But when you bought it, whose name is it in?
It's in my name.
Okay. Why, when you bought it, did you put it in your name only?
Because I'm the one that put all the money down on the house.
Did you have any written agreement with your spouse?
No, I don't.
Okay. So it's going to be marital property because you bought it during the marriage. And it may not be split 50-50. If you put all the money in and your spouse says that she didn't contribute a lot and she doesn't expect it, then that would be a negotiable item. But if you left it to the courts, they would treat it as if you both equally bought the house together as being married. So let me ask you a couple questions. When you got married 5 years ago, was it a marriage or was it a civil union?
It's a marriage.
Okay, it was. I wasn't aware that you could have gotten married 5 years ago in Colorado. You could?
Yes, I believe it was 5 years ago. Maybe it was 4 or 3.
Okay, because there would have been a difference. Now, civil unions are recognized as partnerships, but many times they have different arrangements than marriages when they split up. They're split up under partnership law as opposed to domestic law. But are you sure that you had a marriage? It was an actual marriage, right?
Yes, we
okay.
have a marriage license.
Okay, then that's fine. You're right. You're married. Because, David, when we're talking about domestic unions and civil unions, before the marriage, before gay marriage, these unions were treated as partnerships.
I'm not an expert on that, but
I mean,
my understanding was
it was exactly the same as a marriage.
Yes, and
okay.
that you had to get basically divorced in order to
dissolve
the civil union.
You had to dissolve the partnership.
Right.
Divorce law wouldn't take it.
I don't know that.
Okay, now here's the thing, Kathy. It doesn't matter with you, okay, because you're married, so you're going to go through a divorce, and the property would be divided what they call equitably. They never use the word half. For example, let's say you both made tremendous money and you bought the house and your spouse never contributed a dime. You could make the argument that she's not entitled to anything. However, if you bought it and she didn't work or she worked less, they have more power. It actually becomes more equitable, so to speak, when you are both equal financially. This equitable arrangement is made for the weaker spouses, the ones who give up their careers, the one who moves with the other, and they want to make sure they get their share of property, and that's why it's done that way. It's not necessarily half and half, though. So that's it. All right?
Great. One more quick question.
Yes.
Buying a rental property, and it's going to be in my LLC. Is she entitled to that?
If you buy it while during marriage, yes. Now, are you getting a divorce, or are you just thinking about this?
No, just trying to cover my bases.
Okay. There's nothing wrong with post-nuptial agreements if you both enter into it with your eyes open. So if you want to clear the air, you can ask for a post-nuptial agreement. You can ask that you isolate certain things. But that usually raises red flags. Well, let's put it this way. Judges are very suspect of it because they want to make sure they weren't unduly influenced. And many times they can be thrown out. They're not the same as a prenup. But they can They can work if you have written agreements within the marriage. But it's risky, Kathy. Another thing you could do is file. If you wanted to file, once you file from that day forward, you would be kind of safe if you filed and went through the paperwork. But it's kind of weird, Kathy. You have to make sure that of what your spouse is expecting, because it could end up being a nightmare. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Sharon's got a question for David Salisbury. Sharon, go ahead.
Hi, Tom. I have an estate question, and briefly, my brother is trying to take over my stepfather's finances. And my mother passed away in 2001. They did a trust together in 2000, which made me I'm not sure the right name, the person in
Personal
charge.
Representative?
Yes, personal representative.
All right.
When she passed away, I got her...
What, David? Did you say? Is your mic? I don't hear you. I don't know if your mic...
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
If you set up a trust, then you would be the trustee.
Yes, I'm the trustee.
Okay.
That's what it
Oh, I
says.
thought you were talking about a will, too. Were you talking about a will?
No, it's just a trust.
Okay. All right.
And I am the trustee. My mother passed away. Half of the...
So David, they could have another personal representative even though she's the trustee of a trust if there were other items.
Well, I mean, the personal representative only handles the things that would go through probate.
Gotcha.
And if everything's in the trust,
gotcha,
the personal representative doesn't have a job.
Right. Okay. All right. Gotcha.
Well, and that was my question, is a trust different than a will as far as going through probate?
Yeah,
that's what he just said.
That's the whole reason to have a trust, because if you put everything... But let me ask you this question. Are you sure that all of your parents, all of their assets were legally transferred into the trust?
Yes.
Okay, so if they had a house, it was actually deeded into the trust?
Well, that's a good question. I am not positive about that.
Go to the tax assessor's office and look up the address, and it'll tell you who the bill's sent to, and that'll tell you whether it's a trust or it's still in their name.
Yes, it is. It does show the trust.
Okay,
it would literally, you have to change the deed, and it's in the trust.
And if everything's in that trust, including bank accounts and whatnot, that brother there's nothing for him to control. He can't have access to anything.
Okay. And my next question is...
All right, hold on. We got to hold on for that because we are pretty tight on commercials. I got to do this, okay? Quickly. Al Aramis at Pro Auto Care is the guy you should trust with your car for maintenance and repair. Pro Auto Care is the name. They've been in business 25 years with all ASC certified techs, and Al's own son is part of the team now. He's proud of that because they want to continue this wonderful tradition, even though Al will be around for a lot longer. Now, let me tell you, they have 2 locations near Evans and I-25 and near Bowles and Santa Fe to accommodate you. And they have all kinds of specials. All you have to do is go to 303proauto.com, hit my name or image, and you will get specials for my listeners. Pro Auto Care for maintenance, repairs, and sudden needs. And in between each repair, you get roadside assistance absolutely free. That's right. It's extended for 3 years or 36,000 miles, which usually covers any repair. What I love about it is satisfaction is guaranteed. They will give you estimates, and they will stick to them, and they know their stuff. They also give you reminders for regular maintenance. Pro Auto Care, 303-PRO-AUTO. That's 303-PRO-AUTO.
From the L&L Heating and Air Conditioning Traffic Center.
This report is brought to you by Farmers Insurance.
We are farmers.
A couple of crashes and quite a few slow spots in the highway drive.
Yeah, on that car, there's no way he should
at
have
Peoria
replaced the bumper. See how bad it is?
Solid back there.
Mark Szymanski wasn't available, so I got Gravina siding and windows. Is that okay? Yeah, so he told me.
Along I-70 westbound, stop and go traffic between
So this is the after, right?
There off highway crash, the cleanup stages at 38 and
Make sure you have the exact name of the company. He didn't put the exact
companies.
So, but I took
Exact
it,
name.
he did
Then
a
a
hell
low
of a job in
50.
that.
Right now, partly Sunday.
And part alone
with the $630K how.
It takes more than a roof to make sure your home is covered. Farmers Insurance has over 89 years of knowledge and experience, so you can protect what's important to you. Learn more at farmers.com.
I'm casting my
If you want luxury countertops at wholesale prices, you need to call Art of Granite. And when they remodel...
Unless he has like orange hair that's been,
swapped
off. Yeah, then it may be different.
919 or go online, artofgranite.net.
Coloradans 62 and older, are you not feeling as financially secure as you'd like to? Is cash flow tight? Are you retiring or experiencing a life change? And do you own your own home? Then consider a reverse mortgage from American Financing.
Why does he
Reverse
stick with
mortgages
this
are loans
guy?
that pay you monthly by using the equity in your
Spicer?
home. They also protect your spouse from possibly losing your home if you pass away. And
You know what you might get is they say it's guilfoyle.
more than your house.
You know her
They
that
entrust Kaminsky and here are the facts.
Fox and Friends? She's very attractive, very smart.
Who, Sean Spicer?
Spicer, they've talked about putting guilfoyle in there and stuff. You know, she's very pretty, very smart. She's half Puerto Rican, half Irish. She says, really, boy, she'd be great. But I agree, Spicer's not very articulate.
No, he's not. I don't know how he can get up in the morning. No, I feel sorry for him.
Oh, I see. Okay, guys.
Real estate. Joseph A. Lazara, attorney at law. Someone that is great at what he does, although I hope you don't need him. He's a criminal defense attorney. You know, so many times people during this time of year with cookouts, barbecues, get-togethers, longer days, they go after work, have a few drinks, they don't realize that they're intoxicated or under the influence. And you know, it's more than just liquor that can do that to you. Marijuana now, a lot of people, they smoke, and then they don't know what's legally intoxicated. You might just have heard about Tiger Woods being arrested. They don't even know what was in his system yet, but he was nodding off at the wheel. Here's the deal. If you are incapacitated in any way, you can get in trouble. If you think that you can do it alone, you can't. Even if you want to plead guilty or you think you're innocent, well, no matter what it is, this is a complicated process. And if you don't meet the deadlines, you could lose your license just for missing deadlines. You have a criminal defense, and you also need a motor vehicle procedure. Joseph A. Lazara can handle the whole thing. Give him a call, 303-429-6200, 303-429-6200, LazaraLegal.com, on my referral list at referralist.com.
The Colorado Rapids take on Columbus Crew.
He helped my son with the traffic ticket.
Yeah.
He did an incredible job. Incredible. He's good. He knows everybody. If it's especially Arapahoe County, he knows everybody there.
Never. We're not kidding. 630 KHOW, Denver's talk station.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. So I looked at this contract for Wendy. She had on her home a siding contract from Power. And it is $28,000 for roughly 11 square plus trim. We have several people on our referral list to do siding. And I called one of them right now, Michael, with Gravina Siding and Window. They've been around for years. And I just want to ask Michael. Now, Michael, I understand there's different quality of siding, but I just need to ask you straight up. Have you ever heard of 11 square of siding, vinyl siding, costing $28,000?
Never in my life.
My God.
I mean, yes, that is...
It's unconscionable. I'll say the word. I can't even...
Thank you. You know, it's
I can't believe
it's hard to cross that verbal line, but
yeah,
you know,
I mean,
on average,
yeah.
like a square, all homes differ. So, you know, depending if it's asbestos and it has to be encapsulated and so forth.
Let's ask if there's any special conditions. Wendy, do you have any special conditions in your home?
No, sir. No, hey, Tom, and then you're getting a little confused. It wasn't 28. It's more like 22.
Oh,
but then there was 10% financing on it.
Oh, okay, okay, 22,000.
But it's still off the hook. And no, it's a small cracker box home. I've done siding for years in my previous life.
Okay, so Michael, 22,000 for 11 square.
That's 2,000 a square. I do not have any probably my top of the line product I would consider Diamond Coat LP, and that can be done for about, depending upon the home,
right,
1,400 a square. Your Hardy, around 1,200.
And that's what I told her. We could have done her whole house in Hardy for half that, somewhere around there. Yep.
So that, and then charging 10% on top of that, that somebody is taking advantage of an elderly person.
Well, and she's not even that elderly, I don't think. Are you, Wendy?
Well, I did retire last year, but quite young, so.
Wendy, I got to tell you, Wendy, seriously, I would write them a letter immediately. I would tell them to forget it and say that you're willing to take the consequences, because we'll help you, Wendy. This is ridiculous. Gravina Siding and Window are on the referral list as well. They're at 303-936-7023. 936-7023. Michael, thank you for the advice. Listen, this is a terrible thing. Terrible. Now, Sharon had a second question. She asked David Salisbury about a trustee, and if I'm a trustee in the trust, what happens when the personal representative gets involved? And basically, David Salisbury says, well, all a personal representative does is officiate, or whatever, the will. Nothing else. And if it's not in the will, he has nothing to do with it. Is that right?
Well, yeah, and if this person's not dead,
right,
then there is no personal representative in any case.
So what is your second question, Sharon?
My second question is, the trust was made in San Diego, and my father and I moved to Colorado in 2006.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. If it owns the property, the fact that it was drafted under California law should have no effect whatsoever.
You don't have to bring the trust to where you live now, right? Or do you?
Oh, you mean if...
Like Sharon, the house is where?
Well, he sold the house. We sold the house in San Diego.
Under that trust?
Yes, and then moved to Colorado.
Did you buy another house?
Yes.
Is that in the trust?
No.
Okay.
See, that's different.
Well, can your father-in-law or your father, I've forgotten what you said, is he competent?
Yes.
Well, then have him sign a quitclaim deed from his name into the name of the trust. And
even though the trust was made in California?
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Because the property is here.
So a lot of people don't realize that when you sell something in the trust, the money does not necessarily stay in that trust.
Oh, yeah, it does.
Oh, it does?
Yeah, if the trust owns the property that's sold, the proceeds of the sale goes back into the trust.
Oh.
Because it's the owner.
But then if he buys another house with that money, would that house then belong to the trust automatically?
Should.
So how did he buy...
No. I mean, I'm not changing what I said before.
No, I understand that.
It needs to be deeded.
You have to do it the proper way. Like, did he take the proceeds from the California sale and buy a house here?
Some of them, yeah. Some of the proceeds, not all the and so did I.
Yeah, but it came from the trust. You guys kind of muddled the waters a little.
Right. I mean, we didn't... When we signed the papers here, we didn't sign under the trust name.
But you have to do that now. If you want to have it in the trust...
What I need to know is what I need to do now to protect the property. That's really the only thing that's in the trust.
You need to have a quitclaim deed done that your father signs, transferring it from his name into the name of the trust. And make sure you do it right, because you want to make sure the legal description and the names and all those things are correct when you get it signed and when you get it recorded.
Okay. And do I need to do that through an attorney, or is that something...
You can try to do it by yourself. Just be careful. Use the deed that he got when he bought the property. Make sure that the name on it, like if his name was William W. Smith, you got to do it William W. Smith.
Right.
And the legal description where it says Lot 5, Block 2, or whatever, make sure that's absolutely correct.
As they say, cross the T's and dot the I's. By the way, David Salisbury's number, if you have questions off the air and you ever want him to execute things like this, he'll be happy to talk to you, 720-493-3911. Okay, now, on this siding thing, we will handle this for that woman. I mean, one step at a time. I just think what she's doing She has to stop this before it starts, in my opinion. Dave, what's going on?
Hello.
Hi, Dave.
I just sold my house. I ended up with about $150,000 gain on it.
You had $150 gain after all your basis?
Yes.
That's not taxable as an individual.
Yeah, I know that. What I'm wondering about is I want to buy my dad's property, the house that my dad lives in, but he can't show any kind of income.
Why? Why can't he show income?
Because of his Medicaid, Medicare, whatever it is.
Wait a minute. How did he get Medicaid or Medicare with that property to begin with then?
Because he had it in my brother's name.
Is it still in your brother's name?
Yeah.
And how long ago did he do that?
Oh, I don't know, 10 years ago.
Okay, all right. Is he on Medicaid or Medicare? It's Medicaid you're talking about.
I really don't know.
Well, Medicaid's the only one that would worry about that. Medicare wouldn't.
Okay.
So Medicaid doesn't want him to have income, nor does it want him to have equity.
Okay.
So therefore, that's why the house is in your brother's name for 10 years, and he had to wait 5 years to get on Medicaid after doing that. So he's on Medicaid now, and you don't want to screw it up. So what you do is you buy it from your brother because your brother owns it. And then your brother can do with the money what he wants, but you can't give the money to your dad.
If I pay my brother, do I have to show that I paid him?
Of course you do. Well, what do you mean, do you have to show it? Your brother would have to...
Can he quick claim it to me or something?
Listen, your brother can do anything he wants with the house.
Yeah, so he could just transfer it to me?
Right. Then what are you going to do with the money?
Well, I'm going to give it to him.
To your brother?
Yeah.
Okay, then why would you not call it a real estate sale? Hold on a second. I'm trying to figure out what you're trying to accomplish. It sounds weird to me why you wouldn't just make it a real estate transaction. If you just want to exchange gifts, technically you can do that. But it's very suspect if you're trying to avoid tax. But I don't see how that would even be a taxable event. So hold on, and we will examine it, all right? 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Rocky's Autos, 63rd and Federal. If you're looking for a used car, truck, SUV, or van in this beautiful weather, let me point you to Rocky's, where they have a selection of all makes, models, and colors. You know, a lot of places don't care about color. They have every color conceivable when a car comes in that color. That's what they love, variety. And they love variety in pricing as well, down around $5 or $6 grand or all the way up. They have cars barely used, 15s, 16s. They have some 13s and 12s. You have a great selection at 63rd and Federal, Monday through Saturday, 9 to 8. With 40 lenders to choose from and a family-friendly, kid-friendly atmosphere, even pet-friendly, for goodness sakes. Rockies, 303-426-4646.
This report is brought to you by Farmers Insurance.
We are farmers.
There's a serious crash on the west end of town. It's on the southbound side of Wadsworth. This is at Hamden. Big backups on that stretch. If you can't avoid the area, some lane closures. Spine 30. Way system, a couple of slow spots in westbound I-70, crash being cleared westbound at Peoria, and construction on the west side of town, stop and go traffic westbound I-70, heavy between Wadsworth and Kipling. The weather forecast. It's going to be some afternoon thunderstorms once again today. Some could be heavy with a high near 76. Tonight, thunderstorms in spots early on and a low around 50. Right now, partly sunny in Denver and 70. Denver spine at 15. Wagner, 630 K-How.
It takes more than a roof to make sure your home is covered. Farmers Insurance has over 89 years of knowledge and experience, so you can protect what's important to you. Learn.
Denver spine 5.
We are farmers.
I can say without doubt that stem cell therapy works because I had stem cell therapy done, and I'm amazed at the results, and it's been only a short amount of time. I still have benefits to come, I'm told, because it keeps going and working and working and working. Stem cells have growth hormone in them. They come from a newborn's and the birth byproduct, all ethically procured by Stem Cell Institute of America. Now, if you want to know about stem cells, maybe you're not ready to make an appointment. They understand that, so you stop and listen and get one of these seminars near you. Get to one and learn everything that you want to know about stem cells. They have them in Denver. They have them in the Tech Center, Littleton, Boulder, and other areas, including Fort Collins. All you have to do is call and reserve a seat with no obligation. It could change your life and how you look at pain. 855-262-4040. 855-262-4040. Start living life once again. Attend a Stem Cell Institute of America seminar. That's 855-262-4040.
Rates are still low. Save thousands and have lower payments. Take AIM, affordable
Interest mortgage. Whether you're refinancing or purchasing your new home, we have new loan programs that allow you to borrow up to 97% of value.
Stop paying $200, $300, $400 a month of mortgage insurance.
Take AIM.
720-895-0500.
Purchase your next home with as little as 1% down with no mortgage insurance.
With our low rates, that means you can buy a $300,000 house with $3,000 down and payments less than 30.
Do 895-0500 to find out why more Coloradans are using affordable interest mortgage to refinance or purchase their next home.
We will listen to you, and we will personalize your loan to fit your lifestyle. We offer you a paperless loan process, a fast quote, less than 15, and throughout the process.
You know, insurance companies love Flexident. Why? Because Flexident does not disturb the paint on your car. If you have minor dings, dents, or you have hail damage where the paint has not been cracked or disturbed, they can fix it without you ever knowing they were there. The downtime is less. The whole cost of repairs is less. And the entire thing looks like brand new. It's unbelievable what they can do for you. And Nick is a master certified paintless dent repair tech, and he's hired all certified technicians. So whatever your problem, if you can get your car fixed by paintless dent repair, they'll let you know, and they'll tell you if you can't. A quick inspection is all you need. Call them now and save $500 on big jobs. 303-619-6273. Now they're at Flexident. F-L-E-X, Flexident, Colorado.com, 303-619-6273 for a location near you.
Sean Hannity.
President Trump fired the FBI director. Comey has failed you, the American people.
Nothing but a political hack.
And would not deliver equal justice under the law.
Hannity, coming up today at 1 on Denver's talk station, 630 KHOW.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. All right, Dave, he basically wants to buy a house, okay, from his brother. It's his father's house. His brother owns it, okay. Apparently, Dad's on Medicaid. So here's the bottom line. What you want to do is buy the house, but for some reason, you don't want to show a real estate transaction. May I ask why? If you have $150,000, your brother has a house, why don't you want to show a real estate transaction?
Well, I don't know. He owes $25,000 to the government in taxes. That's why he needed to sell his part. So I was going to give him $40,000, but I didn't want him to have to. He wants to pay his taxes that he owes, but I didn't want him to have to show income and then pay taxes on that too.
Well, there are no taxes on that. That's a capital gain, and you get to keep capital gains. Will he have a gain on that house? What is his basis in that house?
No, he'll lose money on it.
No, what I mean is, when did he got this house signed over to him 10 years ago, right?
Well, actually, that was his house originally, and then the bank took it back. Then my dad ended up buying it back from the bank. And then my brother paid my dad $40,000 back money.
Okay.
And my dad was in at 20. They were in at 60,000.
No, so they weren't. Your dad bought it for 20?
No, my dad put 20 in. My brother put 40 in.
To buy it from the bank?
Yes.
Okay. So they bought it from the bank for $60,000.
Right.
Okay.
And I'm giving them their $60,000 back.
Okay, then there is no gain, because the only time there would be a gain, at the time of transfer, your brother had a basis. At the time of transfer, your dad bought the house. For all practical purposes, he bought it for $60,000. That is the basis of the house that your brother inherited at the time of the quitclaim deed. So your brother has a $60,000 basis. If you buy it from him for anything over $60,000 up to $250,000 over, he doesn't pay a dime in taxes.
Okay.
So I don't know what you're worried about. There is no gain.
I don't know what to worry about either. I didn't know anything about it.
Okay, as an individual, you get to shelter $250,000 in capital gains.
That's if that was his principal residence.
Right. Oh, yeah. Good idea. You're right.
Does your brother live in that house?
No.
What is it, a rental?
No, I gave it to my dad.
Is your dad living in it?
Yeah, they've been there for 10 years.
Okay, so he doesn't rent it out?
No.
Does he have a primary residence?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, then, if he has a primary residence, whether he is collecting rent or not, that's a commercial property for him. Okay? So, therefore, there would be gain if he made any money above and beyond his basis.
No, he's not even going to, he's barely getting his money back.
So then he's not going to have a gain anyway, so it doesn't matter.
No. And then I wanted to give him his 40 and my dad the 20 that they put into it 10 years ago.
If you give Dad 20, it's going to go to Medicaid.
Yeah, well, see, that's what I didn't know about.
Well, it will. So I'm not going to tell you how to cheat the government. You guys figure that one out. But I will tell you that $60,000 is what it takes to buy that house if you want to keep him from having a gain or whatever he put into it beyond the 60. That's his basis. Whatever his basis is, whatever you pay him up to that point, there is no taxable event. But once you go over that, then as a commercial property, it would be taxed. As far as how you divide that money up between your dad and him, you can't. If you give your dad money, he has to claim it. Medicaid will, for that year, take away his Medicaid.
I have to give it off to my brother.
Well, yeah. I mean, technically you do. It's your brother's house.
Well, they each paid on it. Anyway.
Well, won't your brother? Can't your brother help your dad out now and then?
Oh, yeah, he does.
Well, okay, then don't worry about it. But you can't split up that payment, okay? I mean, you can, but your dad, any money your dad gets, he has to claim. You have to claim it as income. 303-713-8255. So that's the way it is. How many times, David, do you get questions from people who want to be ready for Medicaid or a nursing home and they want to dispose of assets?
A lot. A lot.
You can't help them cheat the government.
Oh, no. No, I just explained the rules to them.
Right. The rules are...
Sadly, when they come to me, it's already at the point where someone needs help.
Because those assets must be distributed at least 60 months before.
Right.
Needing public assistance.
Yes.
David Salisbury, attorney at law. We love having him. Thank you very much, David. 720-493-3911. We are live on Facebook, live on YouTube. You can see our archives there on iHeartMedia. Don't forget iHeartRadio. Download it. You can hear us or any station you want on iHeart. Save all your problems for me. Just because you hear all kinds of commercials from lenders about low rates, good terms, and fast closings doesn't mean they're all the same. Anyone can make promises, but I want a sure thing. I want Ideal Home Loans for my next Ideal Home Loan. I've represented Ideal for years for a reason. They do what they say. Their 3-week closing, guaranteed in writing. Their rates, guaranteed in writing. Their terms, guaranteed in writing. And that's up front before you even do business with them. They individualize each loan and make sure you get what you need, and you're better off than you were